fans. Welcome to the U.S. Cellular 5th Quarter Postgame Call-In Show, brought to you by U.S. Cellular. Be sure to visit one of ECU graduate Brandon Tate's Platinum-certified U.S. Cellular stores and experience the highest standard of customer service. Call in on the live line at 317-1250. Now, with a complete recap of the game and your phone calls, live from the Pirate Radio studios, here's your host of the U.S. Cellular 5th Quarter, Clip Brock.
All right, App State in the victory formation as they are going to knock off East Carolina today, 43-28. A dominant second half for App State. East Carolina a lead going into the locker room, and then the final 30 minutes was all Mountaineers. Not enough offense, some big plays given up on defense. We will certainly talk about Alex Flynn and his start. Saw some good things. Also saw 3 interceptions from Alex Flynn. So we'll talk about the quarterback play and everything in between here on the U.S. Sailor 5th Quarter Call-In Show. Clip Brock, Billy Weaver, Marcus Crandall, and Jason Nichols. Shirley Rhodes taking your calls. Intern Joey on the video. The big dog, Glenn Griffin, here as well. 317-1250. Get your calls in now, and we'll talk to you when we return. U.S. Sailor 5th Quarter Call-In Show. Back with you after this.
With U.S. Cellular, it's just $19.99 per line for 1, 2, or 3 lines. So you don't need that robot daughter you built to get a 4th line for family plan pricing.
Oh, Rope Elizabeth? She's not gonna like that.
The robots will prevail.
Oh boy.
Get the low rate of $19.99 per line. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Get 1, 2, or 3 lines for $19.99 per line right now at Atlantic Wireless, your U.S. Cellular authorized agent in Bellhaven, Snow Hill, and 3 locations in Greenville.
Getting a Jersey Mike's sub top Mike's way with onion, lettuce, tomatoes, oregano, and the juice is the bee's knees. Actually, it's better than the bee's knees. I mean, what's the purpose of knees on bees? They don't crouch, they just buzz around. But Mike's Way has a purpose, topping your sub the authentic Jersey way. It's the cat's pajamas. Wait, cats don't wear pajamas. Mike's Way is better. Let's just leave it at that. Get your sub top Mike's Way. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Hey, John, I see your new system's having issues already.
Yeah, I used the other guy with an AC brand I've never heard of.
You should have used Delcor, John. They install train. It's hard to stop a train.
I know, but the other guy was cheaper.
Cheaper isn't better, John.
I know.
Don't use the other guy. Call Delcor. For a limited time, buy a new train system and pay 0% interest for 12 months. Visit Delcor.com for more details. Delcor, the service professionals.
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory of ECU merchandise and tailgate supplies ever. UBE has the best prices in town, so that makes UBE your one-stop shop for all things ECU. UBE does daily restocks of Champion, Adidas, and Under Armour. Don't forget to bring your young pirates to plunder the Crow's Nest, which is the only kids store dedicated to ECU. Plenty of free parking in Uptown Greenville. Visit them online at PirateWear.com. Go Pirates!
The time to save is now during Bostic Sugg Furniture's incredible Labor Day savings event. Low prices on in-stock furniture and mattresses ready for immediate delivery. Look for hot buy savings store-wide on Lazy Boy recliners, sofas, and sectionals. Experience your best sleep and save on a comfortable new mattress. Plus, get up to 60 months special financing. It's the biggest sale of the season with the lowest prices of the season. The Labor Day savings event on now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, pirates supporting pirates.
Bud Light was brewed to be delicious and easy to drink beer, even when little things in life are hard. Like when the game is going into overtime, but you have even more time to enjoy it in a fresh Bud Light. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local retailer today. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey everybody, this is David Glenn, and you're listening to my favorite station in Eastern North Carolina, Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter postgame call-in show. Here's Clip Brock.
All right, 317-1250, the number on the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show. This will not be the angriest postgame call-in show of the day. That'll be Alabama's whenever they finish their game. They're only up 10-3 on South Florida.
Oh, they scored.
They did score.
A touchdown, that is.
10-3 in the third quarter.
All right.
But that is a crazy score. And we'll update you on what's going on across the landscape of college football. East Carolina losing 43-28. We got Brooks, Zach, Justice, and Cameron ready to go. Let's briefly just go around the table real quick. Jay, Nick, your thoughts on what we just watched?
Yeah, disappointed again a little bit, just in the final score. Thought we started off pretty good early on, just played some good football early on, but then we kind of, let things go with the turnovers and penalties and, gave up some explosion plays. But, we just, when you look at it, it's at the naked eye. It's the support staff. I know everybody likes to say, when I say support staff, I'm talking about the cast that's helping the one position we all want to talk about, which is the quarterback. And a lot falls on that guy. But are we doing enough to help him? And I don't know if the supporting cast right now is doing enough to help that position out to be successful. And so it's frustrating because it leads to when you get deep into the third and fourth quarter, our defense is on the field so much that we don't have anything to stop anybody right now. And they're playing way too many plays on the defensive end because we're not effective or consistent enough on the offensive end. And so it's frustrating, but that's why you say complimentary football. I thought we did that pretty good in the first half. We were complimenting each other, but we fell off of it.
Marcus, lead at halftime. Things looking pretty good. What went wrong in the second half? What happened?
Yeah, I mean, it looked very promising the first half, right? And especially the first drive. And then, but what I was definitely proud to see was how well our defense kind of bounced back. They gave up, after we scored, App State came back and scored as well, right? But our defense bounced back and started to play some tough-nosed defense overall for the most part. Gave us a chance by getting 2 picks, and, they scored. And so from that standpoint, you like that. We want to see more of it from the back end in regards to I really do still think we're not playing good enough on the back end when we're actually playing like in a zone coverage, if that makes sense. Whether we should actually press guys a little bit more, get up in their face and play that. That's our style of defense, right? And say, hey, if you're going to beat us, we're going to give you the low percentage throws.
Yep.
Because when we were doing that, they were throwing incompletions. When we actually gave soft coverage or giving up the green grass, so to speak, they took advantage of it almost every single time. And when you're doing that, it puts the offense in a different situation in regards to, here we are looking to get off the field. Now they get a first down. They're extending their drives and marching the ball down the field. And so it kind of goes hand in hand in regards to offense, defense. I really want to be a more challenging of a defense than we have been in order to, kind of help the offense even more than they have been. But offensively, man, we went down and we scored on the first drive. I really would like to see some better throws in regards to the picks that we were talking about, and at the same time, we got to kind of put the quarterback in a better situation too, because I think there was one interception where he was all the way on the right hash and was throwing it wide side out. For me as a quarterback, having to play the position, that's not a great throw versus man coverage. You give that defender multiple chances, even if because he had separation. The receiver had separation.
Yeah, but on that long of a throw,
he had time to recover and undercut.
Close, absolutely.
And then he took it to the house.
Yep.
Not take it to the house. He took it to the 1, I believe.
We saw the schedule when it came out. You thought you'd probably lose to Michigan, okay, but hey, can we start 2-1? We got to at least start 1-2. Sitting at 0-3 right now with Gardner Webb and then conference play. So still a lot of football left, but we got the chances to be bowl eligible, have a winning season. And the conference championship is still out there, but man, it feels like we're a long ways away from it right now.
It almost feels like you're down 0-3 in a best-of-7 series in the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, how many teams come back from that? Things I take from this is way too many mistakes. Way too many mistakes. Be it penalties, be it the interceptions. Obviously, Flynn still finding. I like what I saw from Flynn. And in a normal situation, you're thinking, okay, these are mistakes that can be fixed. These can be fixed in practice. But when you're starting 0-3, you're like, there's not a whole lot of fixing time to get back on track. The other thing is there's no way that if your team gets 2 defensive touchdowns that you should lose that ball game. No doubt. That's like if you win the turnover battle 4-0, you win that ball game. Yes. So the defense, I still don't have a problem with the defense. Defense did their job. Other thing I have a problem with is we still can't seem to get tempo on offense. Every time we see tempo on offense, the offense runs well. That first drive, there was tempo. They hurried up to the line. They kept the defense off balance. I want to see more tempo. We kind of get away from that from time to time. But like I said earlier, too, it's hard to get into tempo when you're a flag down and you're backing up 10 yards or another flag here or a hold. You can't get into tempo. So you got to get rid of the mistakes to be able to get into rhythm and tempo on offense.
And you got to win first down to get into tempo on offense.
Right. And
first down is a big play.
That's right.
That's been my ordeal since game 1. Game 1, you're making a statement, right? Yeah. You're making a statement, and going into that game, Michigan's defensive line is the best. So put the ball in the receiver's hands and give them a chance to make plays. Take away their best defender or their best part of their defense in regards to they're going to stop the run. Let's give our guys a chance. Let's give our guys a chance by putting the ball in the air.
All right, let's get to the calls because I know the folks have a lot to say after this one. And we are here for you, people. Brooks, Zach, Justice, hang on. Cameron starts us off in Goldsboro. Hey, Cameron.
Clip. What we're witnessing right now, guys, is just total, complete failure by the coaching staff, Mike Houston, the offensive coaching staff, for developing what our offense is going to look like without Keaton Mitchell and Holton Ahlers. I mean, we had 3 years of Mason Garcia as a backup. You think you would have time to develop him, and you think with how respectable Coach Houston is, they would know that we don't have a guy that can come in and start, and we could tap into the transfer portal. But no, I mean, it's ridiculous, and we're in a situation where it's right back to 2018 again. I feel bad for the players, but the entire offense is really a joke. We may be the worst offense in the country. I thought Flynn did a lot better job than what Garcia can provide, but still, it doesn't matter who we have at quarterback. With this offensive system we currently have, we are only going to win 2 games or 3 games at max this year. Donnie Kirkpatrick, he needs to be fired. And I just don't get, how can we fail? These wide receivers can't catch balls. It just looks like we failed to develop these players, and we failed to recruit offensive players at the skill positions. And I just don't get it when we had so much time, the coaching staff could do it, and you have a new transfer portal that we can go in and basically buy free agents. I don't get it. It's ridiculous. Serious questions need to be asked about Donnie Kirkpatrick. Really, I mean, we need to get rid of Donnie Kirkpatrick. A serious question needs to be asked about Mike Houston. Why isn't he making a move to get rid of Donnie Kirkpatrick? The entire system is not going to work here at East Carolina offensively with the current players we have right now. And Gardner Webb, I mean, they can move the football offensively. Gardner Webb, it's going to be a close one next week. I just feel bad for the past 2 years making a bowl and just the complete drop-off. It's like the ship has sunk and it's blown up. It's ridiculous. You should, as a fifth-year head coach, you should have players in place that could step up to replace your key guys from last year. It's ridiculous. It's a joke, and we're in for a long season. But as always, go Pirates.
There is Cameron in Goldsboro with his thoughts. Let's keep it going. 317-1250. Justice is up next in Charlotte. Hey, Justice.
Hey, man. How's it going, Flip?
What's up, man? Doing all right?
Hey. Yeah, I'm doing good. Hey, guys. I got a lot of thoughts going through my head right now, but primarily it's kind of similar to what the last caller alluded to. Is this is a kind of a total program failure from Mike Houston down. I never want to, I love our players. I think they played hard, but Mike Houston's not the guy that we thought he was. This is his team. This is his 5th year from, Donnie all the way to Blake Harrell. These are this is exactly the program that he wanted to run, and it's failed. And so I'm really disappointed. And frankly, we're in a pretty tight bind considering that Mike Houston's extended through 26, I believe. So even if we wanted to make a change at the end of this year, it's not going to happen due to the financial point of view. So I'd love to see Mike Houston own this. This is his failure. I liked the effort that Flynn gave today. I thought he showed some flashes, but ultimately some of those mistakes, I mean, the first 2 interceptions he had, it was the same play. It was the same throw in double coverage, and hopefully he can get that cleaned up going forward. But Mike Houston's not the guy we thought he was. Really disappointed.
All right, Justice. Thanks for the call, man. Yeah, for a second, my brain thought that we were watching a replay on that interception. It looked so similar. We had like Jason and Marcus breaking down the first one, and I was like, well, we already broke that one down. Like, we don't need to talk about what just happened because we already did it earlier in the game. Yeah. All right. 317-1250. Let's go next to Zach and Dunn. Hey, Zach.
You want to talk about bowl season? Talk about bowl season? I'm just trying to win a dang game. You know, in all seriousness, there is a good possibility that we don't win next weekend. And, yeah, okay, that's a little brash. But, you know, you look at it, Gardner-Webb is no slouch. And, really, we don't have enough equity in our program right now to overlook anybody. You know, shame on us as the fans for hearing all offseason that there is a tight quarterback battle. And, you know, us fans thought that it was because we had 2 quality guys. But as Coach Houston would say, maybe that says more about our fan base than our coaching staff. You know, that whole debacle at the press conference this week, I understand he was probably trying to take the attention away from the team and put it, you know, on him because everybody's been focused more on his comments. But, you know, you got to be able to back it up. And we didn't move the ball at all in the second half. I believe Igo tweeted out we had 21 yards of offense in the second half.
I was asking about that, and I didn't have a running total. I knew it was low, but that's pretty brutal.
Yeah, we knew it was low just from watching.
Yeah.
We didn't know the exact amount of yardage for sure.
I do think we got to 30 yards, so there's a benchmark there moving forward. But, I mean, whenever you have that little consistency or that little of production, you know, that means a lot of 3 and outs. And regardless of how good the defense is playing, which, yeah, there was plenty of issues with the defense, but regardless of how hard those guys are playing, in an emotionally fueled game, they're going to start giving up plays, which you saw that at the end. They were gassed. And, yeah, you know, the defense has been undisciplined this year, but I'm putting no blame on the defense. They played their butts off. But now my question turns to we're 0-3, and really we've gotten our butts kicked all 3 games. The Michigan game, you toss that out, that's fine. But we've looked terrible the second half of the last 2 weeks. And now you start to wonder, with the way the landscape is now in college football, which players – it's Game 4 is coming up. So which players are going to hit the portal? You got Jackson, our defensive back, who had a pick 6, and then we didn't play him the rest of the first half. He's already evidently talking to Prime about, you know, trying to transfer out. But what other guys are going to hit the portal? You know, we're really at there's a fork in the road coming, and something's got to change. And Houston's loyalties to Donnie are going to come back to bite him. And I know that I've said that the last 3 years, every week that I call, but somebody in the organization has to see that. Mike has to see it, and I don't know if he's holding it for a last-ditch effort, you know, to play that card last, and that buys him another year or 2, but time's running out. Got to make something happen. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, Zach, thanks for the call. 317-1250. We'll hit one more before we take a break. Let's go to Brooks in New York. Hey, Brooks.
Hey, Cliff. Good to hear your voice. Thanks for doing a great watch-along with all the guys again. I really appreciate it. It makes me feel like I'm still in North Carolina, watching all the way up in New York. I thought that it was very admirable of Blake Harrell to match the same amount of points that Donnie Kirkpatrick scored today with 14. Really big for his side of the ball, knowing that he's going to have to do all the heavy lifting. for the entire rest of the season, just to make this season watchable, in my opinion. My roommate texted me this stat, so I'll just go ahead and read it off for everybody. 15th time in program history that ECU began the year 0-3, first time since 2017, and none of those seasons did ECU turn out with a winning record. So hopefully they can reverse that luck, like Billy just said, about turning it around in the NBA series down 0-3. But, who knows what we're going to find out. I have a question about the recruiting process of these transfer, wide receivers. If they just don't have tape in games, like catching the ball, are we just getting practice film for these guys? Like, oh, they caught the ball in practice, like against second team or third team kind of stuff? Because unfortunately, through 3 games, I've never seen so many drop passes by ECU receivers. And I know we don't have the home run hitter like Justin Hardy, Zay Jones, Dwayne Harris, C.J. Johnson, everything like that. But maybe sometimes you need like an Andrew Bodenheimer or like a Bryce Williams, consistently can just make catches, not going to, put 3 touchdowns up on the board, every other week, something like that. But that's my thoughts on the offense so far this year and the supporting cast.
All right, Brooks, thanks, man. And Jason, you're kind of going down the roster like, all right, what if these guys aren't getting it done, what else do we have on this roster as far as receiver? And both you guys have been pretty big on the supporting cast. It's got to help out these quarterbacks, and we have not had that help. We've seen a ton of drops through 3 games.
Yes, we have. I mean, and that's that's a situation that is killing drives. I mean, drop balls and all that stuff does not help to keep us on schedule. That's something that was preached to us when, since I was a player here, and I preach it as a coach. You can't drop balls. Drop balls kills drives, and you got to catch them. I don't care. They touch your hand, find a way. You got to have an expectation level, and you got to be able to push those guys to get to that expectation level. That means if I have to keep you out here to catch 1,000 balls off this jugs machine, I will do it. But at the end of the day, we got to be productive. And right now, and I looked at the roster just because I'm saying, like, well, man, I mean, as a coach, I know if I got better players, I'm going to put them out there in the game. So I don't know if these guys that are on the roster, are they better players? Because obviously they haven't shown what they need to show throughout camp and all this stuff to get bumped up the roster. So I don't know, Clip. I don't know what the answer is there as far as do we have more guys that can make plays. I would have thought by now if we did, we'd put them out there.
Yeah. All right, 317-1250. Let's take a break. Evan, Clint, Jackson, Charlie, hang on. We'll get to your calls. We'll have more for you on the U.S. Sailor 5th Quarter Call-In Show. Good news, we do have Wings Over Greenville in the back, and they will deliver right to your door so you can enjoy Florida, Tennessee, some football tonight, some NFL on Sunday. Wings Over Greenville, great fries, great tots, awesome wings, traditional and the giant tenders. Wings Over Greenville, check them out. They'll be open for lunch beginning in October. All right, 317-1250, back with more of your calls after this.
It's bow time. Chicken or biscuits? That's an impossible choice. How can you decide between Bojangles' perfectly crispy, boldly seasoned chicken or their fluffy, made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuits? Well, the good news is you don't have to. With a Cajun chicken filet biscuit, you get the best of both worlds. An all-white meat chicken breast marinated with a bold blend of seasonings and served up on a fluffy, golden buttermilk biscuit. When it comes to real-deal Southern flavor, there's no reason you can't have it all. Order a Cajun chicken filet biscuit today. It's bow time.
In football, it takes great offense, defense, and special teams to make the perfect team. With New Blue, it takes great service in plumbing, electrical, and HVAC to make a perfect team. This is Aaron Williams with Ease Plumbing, and we have teamed up with Viva Electric and Roland Black Heating and Cooling to form New Blue Service Group. Same great local team, same great local service. Let us help you tackle any issues you may have. Just go to callnewblue.com. That's callnublue.com. New Blue Service Group, where we are redefining service excellence. Go Pirates.
I'm Caleb Stroud, the founder of Stroud's Marine. I grew up on the water and I've loved boating my entire life. In 2012, I decided to give back to the marine community by creating a way for boaters to order pre-owned salvaged marine parts online. Stroud's Marine was born to offer incredible prices and unparalleled customer service. We stand behind every part we sell, and our mission is to save you money and get you back on the water as quickly as possible. Visit StroudsMarine.com today for more information. Stroud's Marine, your best source for salvage outboard parts.
You've worked hard to make your business successful, and that's why it's really important to always have a bank that's in your corner when you need them. This is Chris Richards from First Bank, and our experienced team of local bankers includes Lee Watson, Ashley Capps, Bonner Latham, Josh Hooten, and Heath Nisbet. To get the business services that are right for your business, come and see one of our experienced team members at First Bank on Arlington Boulevard in Greenville. First Bank, together with our customers, we're creating a world where individuals and communities thrive. Member FDIC.
360 Golf Carts is Pitt County's go-to shop for all things golf carts. They have easy-go, club car, and utility carts to choose from. Whether it's for the beach, riding around the neighborhood, or working in the yard, 360 Golf Carts has the perfect ride for you. If you have issues with your current cart, take it by the 360 shop for an expert's diagnosis. From parts to sales to service, 360 has you covered. They will even deliver right to you. Visit Brian Harris today on Highway 43, just past D.H. Conley High School. 360 Golf Carts, Pirates supporting Pirates.
This is Gina from Naughty Life in downtown Washington, inviting you to come shop our Restock store. We are back from market with a great selection of everything Yeti and much more. For back to school, we have Scout lunch bags and book bags in all new patterns. We also have a great selection of t-shirts, including Old Road, Southern Fried Cotton, and Local Boy. Remember, we always provide free gift wrapping with your purchase. Shopping is always fun at Naughty Life in beautiful downtown Washington on Main Street.
Hey, I'm Holt Nailers. No one knows better than me how important it is as a quarterback to have protection on the field to be successful. My frontline team is critical to my success. For your frontline insurance protection, you need the team at Buck Insurance Agency. Buck Insurance Agency is your local team and have been helping customers like you for over 30 years with their insurance needs. When you need insurance protection, you'll get the whole team with Brian Buck and his staff. Call toll-free at 877-357-1966. Go Pirates.
Papa John's new Garlic Epic Stuffed Crust Pizza is the pizza inspired by our biggest fans. With that garlic flavor you all love.
In it, on it, with it.
Get the new Garlic Epic Stuffed Crust Pizza for $13.99 only at Papa John's.
Hey, Pirate fans, Papa John's is the MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Go Pirates!
What's up? This is Bryson Worrell, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter postgame call-in show. Here's Clip Brock. Now, with the Pirate Radio scoreboard, here's Shirley Rhodes.
All right, let's run down some of the finals from earlier today. Duke beat Northwestern 38-14. NC State didn't have a problem with VMI. They win at 45-7. Wake Forest rallied and beat Old Dominion 27-24. Florida State survived Boston College 31-29, and Rutgers beat Virginia Tech 35-16. Games going on right now. Alabama struggling against South Florida. They only lead by a touchdown. 10-3 is that score with under 12 minutes to go in the game. Iowa leads Western Michigan 31-10. It is Texas A&M all over UL Monroe 37-3. Ohio State dropping a 60-burger on Western Kentucky. 63-10 is that score, 5.5 minutes to go in that game. 8th-ranked Washington not having a problem with Michigan State. 35-0 is that score. Washington State leads Northern Colorado 50-7. And a quick ECU volleyball note. ECU volleyball beat Virginia Tech, handing them their first loss in volleyball for this season in 5 sets. And the Pirates win the Virginia Tech Classic. And that is a look at your Buccaneer Music Hall scoreboard, brought to you by The Buck, as your beacon of music in the land of the Pirates. And hey, Sunday Fun Day is tomorrow. You can watch all of your favorite games at The Buck on the largest 4K TV in Eastern North Carolina, along with 18 big screen TVs and the premier security as well. Top flight security. See and be seen at The Buck. Now let's head back into the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter postgame call-in show.
Whoa.
Here's Clip Brock. I ran out of breath.
ran out of breath.
Ran out of oxygen right there.
So ECU knocking off Virginia Tech in volleyball? Is that
Yes,
right?
Virginia
All right.
Tech had not
Hey.
lost a match,
something.
and they walk away winners of the Virginia Tech Classic.
We're only taking calls on that on this show. All right.
Season.
You got time for a 15-second soundbite here? This is Coach
yeah.
after the game.
All right.
Tough loss. Very good football team we faced. I thought the kids came out and played really, really hard. I thought, the way we started the game, our mindset, we were ready to play. I thought we came out playing very physical. Appalachian did too.
Just a little cut there of the open there. All right, 317-1250. Evan, Clint, Jackson, hang on. Let's go to Charlie in Pittsburgh. Charlie, I think it's your first call of the year. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I wish I was talking to you under better circumstances, but it's good to be talking to you nonetheless. Obviously, there's some obviously positive and negatives to take away from this game. To be honest with you, I kind of had a pit in my stomach all week thinking about this game. I was afraid we were going to go up there and get absolutely boat raced. And that didn't happen. Especially in the first half, we really held our own. The boys fought well. I was happy Flynn got the start. I thought he was fun to watch. Despite the 3 interceptions, it was fun watching him sling the ball around. And I think he's got potential. He hadn't had a lot of experience. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody who does have a lot of experience. So, but there's some things to clean up on offense for sure. If you take away the 2 defensive touchdowns, that score looks a lot different, and then it would feel like a boat race if that was the outcome. So, yeah, I heard Logan on the radio talking yesterday, and he was talking about how when Garrard first got into the program, how they really had to re-examine the offense and say, what changes have we got to make this offense work for this guy? And that may be a little bit of what's going on here, with the added dimension of we're not quite sure who's our guy. Obviously after today, I feel like Flynn's the front runner now. I think, despite his lack of experience, that was a gutsy performance, I feel like, in front of a really hostile road crowd. So it certainly went better than it could have. But, at the end of the day, just like the second chair trumpet player in the middle school band, we got to play better. And we still got a lot of season left. And now's the point in the season where I feel like we have a choice either to kind of get our heads screwed on straight and figure something out and scrape out a decent season, or this thing could go off the rails, and we could be talking about an awful season. So a lot of question marks, but it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be today. So anyway, shout out to Carolina Roller Derby in Apex and their bout tonight. Good luck to them, and as always, appreciate what y'all do. Go Pirates!
All right. Thank you, Charlie. You say roller derby?
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know that was still around. How cool was that?
That guy was definitely that middle schooler.
It's what?
They wear the inline skates now to do roller derby.
Oh, is that right?
Oh,
I'm just playing. I don't.
I thought Kinston used to have a roller derby. I don't know if they still do or not.
Did
but I was
I
very
used to watch
interested
that.
in it.
I used to watch that on TV.
Fabulous Thunderbirds.
Yes.
Yeah. I watched it too.
Man, that brings back memories. I know.
We're totally dating ourselves right now.
I used to watch that in wrestling, man. That was it.
That was it.
So Billy confirming he is a redneck right here on the show.
Have you met me? How many NASCAR races have I been to? I'm into NASCAR, wrestling, roller derby. I throw back a Budweiser, not a Bud Light.
Do you watch bass fishing?
No, that I don't do.
Do you listen to a scanner?
I have.
Confirmed. All right, we're only taking calls on volleyball and roller derby tonight.
But and only one time have I described what the tornado did through the trailer park.
All right, have you seen a UFO and talked about that on news TV?
Did you do so without a shirt on?
Yes.
317-1250. Jackson's up in Greenville.
You sure about that?
Hey, Jackson.
What's going on, guys?
What's up?
All right. Well, my takeaway from the game today is I could really get a Madden playbook and call better plays than Kirkpatrick did today. Do y'all have the stats on the first down rushing stats?
We were talking about that. You talking about what percentage they are running versus throwing on first down?
Do y'all have the net yardage on that?
No, not in front of me. I can tell you it's not good.
Yeah, I mean,
Like maybe 1 yard a carry because we had some negatives, we had some twos, about a yard, I would think.
yeah, it was bad, and there's the play calling has been bad. I think Houston and Kirkpatrick are in my opinion, the reason the season's kind of gone the way it is. When looking at the schedule preseason, I thought we were at least going to split between Marshall and App, but both those performances were a bit bad. Houston got outscored 27-7 in the second half. I mean, I feel like App made adjustments that we didn't, and ultimately that's why they blew it open in the second half. We've got to be better. The receivers have to be better. Quarterbacks, obviously, we haven't developed them in the portal, and since they've gotten here, we didn't give it out anyone in the portal. I mean, I see this team being 3 wins max. I mean, maybe we can pull one off against Rice or SMU, but other than that, it looks like the season's kind of a throwaway, and we're going to have to figure some things out.
All right, Jackson is in shambles right now, not liking what he sees.
Well, I'm telling this, Rice beat Houston early in the year, didn't they?
Yeah.
So.
Well, going back to what Cameron said earlier, one of the first callers that we had, that he said something about there's not a gimme with Gardner Webb. I mean,
Right.
we're not guaranteed to beat Gardner Webb.
That program
We're not
got
guaranteed to beat anybody on the schedule right now. Nobody, until you show that you can go out there and be consistent, not make mistakes, and win a ball game. Everybody on this schedule can beat you. I don't care who it is.
That is the truth, and that's what we're facing right now.
Mm-hmm.
We can lose a lot of games.
Oh yeah. North Carolina A&T came in here and showed that
a
few years back. Gardner Webb could do the same thing. I'm sorry, Clip.
No, you're good. 317-1250. Clint and Clinton. This sounds fake, so I'm on high alert for this one. Is there really a guy named Clint and Clinton? Hello, Clint.
Yes, there is actually a guy in Clinton named Clinton. And first of all, let me say thank you guys for all you do to cover ECU athletics and give us an opportunity to vent as couch quarterbacks and coaches in defeat and victory. And secondly, I work for ECU football in undergrad, so I'll never throw a student athlete under the bus because I know the rigor that goes into their schedule and the product they put on the field, and so they are doing all that they can do. And I will take a little different path than the callers that have called in before me, and I will say I want to give thanks to Coach Houston and Blake Harold and Donnie Kay, in that I am from Clinton, so I drive into the games on Saturday, and so I would like to thank them for decreasing the traffic, concession stand wait, and bathroom lines.
I knew something was coming in there.
Where's the hook?
Where's the hook?
There it is.
Go Pirates and go women's volleyball.
Thanks, Clint.
When you got to go, you have no problem going.
Hey, I'm excited. I'm calling some women's volleyball games later this year, doing the PA.
PA action. Those are fun.
Yeah, I'm excited now.
All right.
Let's go Pirates.
317-1250. Let's get one more in before we take a break. Evan is up in Whiteville. Hey, Evan.
Hey, so first of all, I'll start out with, how about them volleyball girls?
Yeah, let's go.
Yes.
All right.
Let's get Pirates. Damn the Hokies. All right, sorry. So I'd like to start off with, I mean, I know everybody's been talking about the offensive play calling, but at a certain point, we can call a spade. Donnie Kirkpatrick has had terrible play call choices on first down ever since Holt Naylors took over. There's a reason why everybody calls in and keeps beating a dead horse like that. I mean, I don't know how many times I sat here, me as Joe Blow, just watching a couch quarterback, and called first play, run, halfback draw right in the middle. Second play, bubble screen to the left, and we're looking at 3rd and 9 with an inexperienced quarterback, and then everything just blows up in our face. So that's first step. So we need to start calling a spade. Y'all need to start calling a spade a spade. IGO needs to start calling a spade and holding Kirkpatrick accountable for what we're doing. Mike Houston, he's righted the ship, but at a certain point, he needs to start holding his guys accountable as well. I know DK is his guy. He's been with him at James Madison, but at a certain point, it's affecting his job security. So I'd like to just lob that up to y'all in the media, Pirate Radio, HTC, all of y'all. Y'all need to start bringing that up more. I know y'all, there's a relationship, whatever. Move on. Second thing, number 5, the wide receiver, he needs to be more involved in the offense because he was the only shining star out of the wide receivers that did anything today. Jalen Johnson had a great year last year. I don't know if Holton had a lot to do with that, but he looked really good today. Rajay, he's not the same. He is not the same running back that he was last year. He's just not the same running back that he has been before. Davius Bond, we're trying to force feed him to act like he's Keaton Mitchell. He's not that yet. Do I think that he could be that down the road? Maybe. But right now, he is not that. Marlon Gunn, I guess we just gave up hope on him. We just don't give him those touches anymore. I mean, we give him that guaranteed Donnie Kirkpatrick handoff right up the middle. Yeah, that's not what happened to Marlon Gunn. Like, why is he – did he go to third string? Is Davis Bond that much better than him? I don't know. The defense looked great. Blake Harrell, he's probably going to leave next year because somebody's going to realize this team is – their defense is pretty good. They give up big plays, but Blake Harrell schemes that he comes out every week, and for the first 2-3 quarters, it works. I don't know. But, I mean, I'm just disappointed. I appreciate y'all's time. Go Pirates.
All right, good call, Evan. He had his bullet points and hit them all. So good. That's how you do it. No matter what you have to say, that's a good template to go by.
Well, something I hadn't thought about either too is that that's not out of the realm of possibility for somebody to come and offer Blake Harrell a job somewhere else. And if that were to happen, that would be a huge loss for East Carolina, and that's not out of the realm of possibility.
At some point, it's going to happen because the defense has been playing well.
Yeah.
And in this profession, guys are going to look up guys and say, "Man, this guy's been able to do a good job with less."
Right.
So imagine if we give him more.
We give him what we've got over here.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
My thought on the whole Donnie thing, I feel like we've talked about this before, but is Mike Houston happy with the way he's calling plays? Is it him telling Donnie what to call? Because you would think if he wasn't happy, we might see some changes and different stuff. I feel like he's kind of happy with what they're calling right now. That's my personal opinion. Do you think he's up? Do you think he would like to have a different coordinator running an entirely different offense? I feel like if that was the case, he would have gone to that by now.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, what do you want to run? I mean, I don't know. When I look at what we're doing here, it's not what we're running. Sometimes it's when we're calling things. We're too obvious on certain things. You gotta run the ball when they think you're gonna pass it. You gotta pass it when you think they're gonna run it. You gotta mix it up. And we saw something today we talked about. They threw a bubble screen out there. I know sometimes people don't like when you throw the bubble screen out there, especially if it doesn't pick up big yards. But let's face it. The bubble screen is not meant to pick up a lot of yardage. It only happens if somebody misses a tackle or something like that. But you got to block it well. And there was some instances out there.
There was one where a receiver, 88, had completely missed a block on a bubble screen that was set up with trips to the left that should have picked up 5-6 yards easily. And it didn't happen.
And it didn't happen. And we talked about that. And I was like, so we can get on Donnie, which, I get it. Everybody is on Donnie. But we got to execute, too.
Yeah.
Because there was another play we were talking about where the same thing happened. We called a play, and I forget it right now, but it's the execution of the play, too.
The sweep, the speed sweep.
Yeah.
You're talking about?
Yeah.
With
it wasn't block work.
Yeah.
I mean, and so until we get everybody executing on the same page, I mean, that's just demanding what you want to get out of your offense out there on the practice fields. And I don't know. I mean, it's just not happening when we get into the game.
All right, 317-1250, Pace, Cheezel, Zach, John. We'll get to you when we return. Lines locked and loaded, as they will be for a while here on the U.S. Sailor fifth quarter call-in show. Got about 200 and, my math's not great, 80-some, 70-some more people watching than we have likes on YouTube. So if you could do us a solid, hit the thumb, hit the like, subscribe. We'd appreciate it. We are here with you each and every Saturday before and after the game on the Bud Light pregame tailgate and U.S. Sailor fifth quarter call-in show. More to go after this.
Pizza, subs, slice, ice,
Jenny, what are you doing?
Just letting the Pirate Nation know that Cuccinella's is now open in downtown Greenville, across from Subdogs. Did you know Cuccinella's is open every day with $6 lunch specials, slices all day, beer, wine, and their famous homemade gelato. Plus, if you're busy, use DoorDash for Cuccinella's delivery, and Cuccinella's is open late night, Friday and Saturday. Cuccinella's on 5th Street in downtown Greenville. Go Pirates!
Hey you, yeah you, have you heard? Greenville Auto World is under new ownership and is now part of the DriveHereNow.com network. DriveHereNow.com is run by local people who buy, service, detail, and sell everything directly to you. Greenville Auto World is now the 5th dealership to join the DriveHereNow.com network. Get car shopping today at DriveHereNow.com and choose a location near you. DriveHereNow.com, serving Eastern North Carolina for over 47 years and proud supporter of the Pirates.
When it comes to toughness on the field, the ECU Pirates are second to none. The same holds true for quality equipment. Our lineup of agriculture, lawn, garden, and commercial worksite equipment brings legendary toughness and reliability to any task, and quality makes them easy to own with low monthly payments. Get it done right. Stop by one of our 36 locations or visit us online at QualityEquip.com. Proud sponsors of ECU Pirates football.
Hi, I'm Christy Conway.
And I'm Tracy Ayers. We are the co-owners of ENC Pirate Realty.
We have set out to change the real estate experience in Eastern North Carolina.
Whether buying, selling, or renting, our trained family of professionals are here to find you the right place to live.
Stop by our Greenville office or visit encpiraterealty.com online today.
And like our motto says, we close the deal.
Or someone walks the plank.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Taylor from Fleet Feet, making sure you have the best and most comfortable shoes this tailgate season. Locally owned and operated by ECU alums Chris and Kendra Lunyon, Fleet Feet of Greenville provides solutions through one-on-one services to runners, walkers, and everyone in between. Fleet Feet has the tools and technology to get you in the right shoes, including a 3D foot scanner that measures arch height, width, and more. Come see us at 207 East Arlington Boulevard in the old Gordon's Golf and Ski location. Fleet Feet, we run for you.
Any adventure, any task, anytime. There's a Yamaha utility ATV for any ride and any rider. See the full lineup at Ron Ayers Motorsports. Adventure seekers can start with the trail-tested capability and comfort of the Yamaha Grizzly line. And for the ultimate in mid-size ATV performance, check out the Yamaha Kodiak 450. And for those who mix work and pleasure, the Yamaha Kodiak 700 line devours chores and leaves room for adventure. Find your ATV at Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11 north of the airport in Greenville, or go to YamahaMotorsports.com. ATVs are recommended only by riders 16 years and older. ATVs can be hazardous to operate. Yamaha recommends an approved training course. For safety and training information, see your dealer at Ron Ayers Motorsports or call 1-800-887-2887.
Washington's favorite place to eat and where all the locals go is down on Main Street. Down on Main Street's famous weekday lunch specials are only $7.99. Stop by for the house salad with grilled chicken, the half club sandwich with chips, or everyone's favorite, the fried shrimp plate. After work, Down on Main Street is the perfect spot for dinner and a drink on the patio. Join Down on Main Street every Wednesday for half-price wings from 4 to close. Down on Main Street in historic downtown Washington. Go Pirates!
It's hard to forget how hot it gets around here in the summer. Remember, the hotter it is outside, the harder your AC has to work to keep it cool inside. And the more energy it uses to keep you cool, the higher your utility bill will be. Your neighbors at GUC have tips to help you reduce your energy use, such as using fans to cool you down inside and cooking outside when you can in the summer. For more tips, go to GUC.com and look for ways to save.
This is Dale Murphy, two-time National League MVP and number 3 with the Atlanta Braves. And you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the U.S. Cellular 5th Quarter Postgame Call-In Show. Here's Clip Brock.
All right, back with you. 317-1250 is the number on the U.S. Cellular 5th Quarter Call-In Show. We got a touchdown and a missed extra point in Gainesville, so it is Tennessee 7 and Florida 6. as they play right now in the Swamp. 4:10 left to go in the first quarter. All right, wings over Greenville. I figured I hadn't ate enough today, so I'm going to eat some wings.
They smell good.
Man, they are very good. 758-9464, 758-WING. Give them a call. They will deliver right to your door. Got the tenders and the tots going right now here inside the Pirate Radio studios. All right, B-Pays, Cheezel, Zach, hang on. Let's go to John in Greenville. Hey, John.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This call is for Marcus, because I want your expertise, man. Because App State reminds me of us in the 90s. They are beating quote-unquote better teams, having competitive games with better teams with a better scheme. The first 3 games of our season, the first play has been Rajay up the middle for 2 yards. That seems to just be a pattern throughout the entire game. Our offense is predictable. It seems like we want to run the ball up the middle, but we don't stretch the field vertically. We just run at stacked boxes. I think if you're at East Carolina, and Marcus, you probably know better than me, if you want to pound the ball, you got to stretch the field vertically and get men out of the box. That's just what I see when I watch, and I'm no professional, so Marcus, I'll let you take it from here, and I want to hear what you have to say.
Thanks, John.
For everything you do, and thanks, Marcus. You're a legend.
All right, Marcus.
John, thank you very much, man. And, man, you hit the nail on the head there in regards to first down. We've been talking about it for quite some time, since the first game. And for me, to start the season off, my mentality would have been different. And in regards to how we're going to be, what we're going to be on the offensive side of the ball, and that going against Michigan, I think that set the tone for. We had a chance to set the tone for what the season was going to be like, and I would have thrown the football there to let our offense, quarterbacks, and receivers know that, hey, we're going to go and try and win this game. We're not going to play into the hands of the strength of the defense. All right, we're going to make them play honest coverage and all those good things and give our guys a chance to win the football game. And so when you just do that, when you hand the ball off, you're doing a lot of different things. You're putting the quarterback in a bad situation in regards to you are getting that 1 yard, and we're getting in long down in situations. And so it's difficult. It's difficult when you have a young group, offensive line, inexperienced, quarterback inexperienced, and then receivers. You know, they have the experience, but you know it's an entirely different team. It's an entirely different team. So I think you have to change the mindset. I do think that you have to get the ball out on the perimeter, throw the ball, and I'm not just talking about bubble screens and all of that. I'm talking about throwing the ball, quick game. There's lots of different ways to throw the ball down the field, and we've been very effective with the quick game and throwing
the quick slants have been
absolutely.
working.
And you see different guys. You saw Calhoun catch a slant today as well, and so it's just putting guys in position to make those plays.
Well, when you watch that though, those slants we threw was actually off of RPO action.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily quick game.
Right.
But you're right.
But I call that the same.
Yeah.
I call it the same because I coach.
Yeah, if the quarterback is getting the ball out of his hands, 1.2, 1.3 seconds or whatever, that's quick game.
It's quick game.
Well, it is. But now I don't know if you watch it. When you RPO, there's a defensive end that you don't.
That's true. That's
and
true.
So now your quarterback
because you're watching the DN whether he crashes down. Absolutely.
Whereas if I go quick game, that DN is not hitting my quarterback. We're going to cut him.
Yeah.
Right. Because now I got my line firing off and cutting those guys, which to me sets a tempo in your offense about being aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
We use quick game to cut guys, to slow down the rush, okay? And quick game also does this for you. We also had the mentality of we're going to use the pass to set up the run.
That's right, and I've been preaching that from day one.
And the way you do that is not vertically. You do it by stretching the field horizontally too, because now we got to make guys declare where you at. Are you going to guard the box, or are you going to go out here and guard the field?
Mm-hmm.
If you guard the field, it makes the box lighter for the linemen to where they can block people.
Yep.
If you go in here and you take up the box, then we'll throw it out to the field because now we got space to catch and throw and go run with the ball. So you do have to do those things. If you're going to hand it off all the time, you got to be a play-action team. You got to be able to fake it and go out and boot and play action. Or why are you doing it if you're not going to effectively, suck guys up to be able to get the ball behind them? I mean, so we can sit up here. That's what I get frustrated about because there's a lot more about this that we can be better
absolutely.
at.
Yeah.
And just to go on your point about the defensive end being free, you got to understand what you have. And we've talked about this. Last year, I was just in a position where I told you we let the defensive end free, didn't have a quarterback to get outside, so I coached those guys up to say, hey, if you're going to hold on to that ball, you better get rid of it because you know you're going to get hit, right? And just coach them up on the looks and seeing things change at the snap, all those good things in regards to being successful out there on the field. And it takes time, but you do have to harp on those things and be on the same page.
317-1250, the number. We go next to Zach in Wilmington. Hey, Zach.
How y'all doing?
All right.
Is the offensive line really as bad as it looks? Because, it looks like a Scotty Montgomery offensive line. It stinks. Flynn has zero time to do anything. For, a quarter, he didn't look bad, but he just has been – in, that third quarter, he just dropped off, kept throwing interceptions. After the third one, I just lost it. I just gave up. But, defense was decent, but is the offensive line really that bad? And I just want to hear what you guys say because you guys are a lot closer because, it looks like a Scotty Montgomery offensive line.
This is a piece together offensive line after you lose Strother.
4 guys.
After you lose Avery Jones, Noah Henderson, and I don't know the fourth off the top of my head.
There's a fourth one, yeah.
And you bring in some transfers. You bring in guys that were younger a year ago, and you don't have a lot of experience on it. It's not one of the most well put together offensive lines in the country. That has always been. East Carolina's never had the best offensive line. No. You kind of work around it. You do other things, right? You have to play to your personnel.
You got to make them look good somehow, some way.
You got to put your players in the best positions to win.
Yeah.
And I don't think
we're not going to have a road grading Big Ten offensive line.
No, and we talked about that. That's the thing at East Carolina. You're not going to line up we had talked about this in the break, and I had mentioned that Mike Houston's coming from a place at JMU where he could line up against opponents at JMU and say, I'm going to run the football. We're going to do what we do. We don't care what you do, what you scheme up. Stop us. We are bigger, faster, and strong. We're better than you. That's not the case at East Carolina. They don't have the athletes to do that right now.
No. It's I don't know if we've ever been where you're going to be a road grading team. No. You do run the ball and you run it different ways to help the offense be productive. But to say that we want to just sit here and I haven't seen us run power or anything this year, which is smart because we're not a power football team. But
here's the thing about a power team though. When you think about power, like traditional power, you're actually getting double teams.
True.
Yeah, you're getting 2 tight ends.
You're not just going man on man. You're getting double teams and.
But what I mean, and I get it. You're going to double team to the backside backer, going to pull the backside guard for the play side backer. I get that. But what I'm saying is we're not that type of team. It takes athleticism to pull those guards to come around and block that. So counter. We done a little bit of counter. We did some counter stuff in the game last week with Mason when we were at home. That was good. It changes gaps. You're trying to change gaps and create gaps in your run game, but we're just not a knock you off the ball. We're not built that way.
And that's why you have to have the multiple runs.
No doubt.
Right? You got to mix it up. You got to mix it up. You got to run the inside zone because that's still got to be a part of your game or your game plan. You still got to be able to run the ball in between the tackles and all of that. But you got to have those schemes where you are. I don't care if those guys haven't shown to be athletic. We got to do something to change it up.
Yep.
You got to do it just to change it up. And so if we can do that, right, it keeps those guys thinking a little bit more as opposed to being predictable. We're predictable on first down, and that's what John was talking about. We're predictable. Teams are going to line up. They're going to stop us on first down, 2nd and 10.
Well, what they're going to do is they're going to get in 15. They're going to get into the run defense because they're saying on first down this is what's coming. So it don't matter what run you run at that point in time. They're going to fill the gaps and they're going to have a run stunt called. So when you run the ball, they got everybody in a gap.
Absolutely.
That's why play action has to be big.
317-1250. We go next up to Ocean City and talk to Cheezel. What's up, Cheezel?
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. Put the plank out, boys. I'm telling you what, it's time to walk. first of all, Philly, let me ask you a question. Why on God's name of earth did Flynn play today? Was Mike in his feels that he wanted to come back to town? You know, the Asheville kid, he wants him to go up and have a chance to play in front of his friends and family. And the best prospect he's ever recruited in the position, a four-star quarterback coming out of South Carolina. But we're going to go ahead and play it Flynn. I would love to know what the thought process is behind that.
So is there a joke in here?
So what are you asking?
Where's the joke? I missed it.
What the hell was?
I think he's been honest in regards to
he's breaking
opinion.
up. The call's breaking up, so I can't.
Cheese is a good caller and usually is smart. Is he really that dumb? I think he's joking. I hope he's joking.
And it was breaking up, so I didn't catch half of the question.
All right, Cheezel, get a better phone. 317-1250.
I'm sorry, but Flynn to me is
don't
a better
even answer that question.
If that's what you're asking.
B. Pays is up in Raleigh.
He's
Hey,
looking
Pays.
at stars.
Hey, man. So listen, Mike Houston should drive to the Pirate Radio studios after, when they get back. Y'all should probably still be doing a show by then, like 2 in the morning. And he needs to beg Jason Nichols and Marcus Crandall to join his staff. I mean, beg them. I mean, get Nichols, what you want in your NIL? Crandall, Mark C, what you want? Mark C, I remember I used to take you to Miami Subs.
If they brought back Miami Subs, would you go join the staff?
Do we need to build a Miami Subs right now to give us?
That was the spot.
It was.
Oh
man.
10-piece wing at 2:30 in the morning would treat you right.
Yes, sir.
Pays, honestly, the last time I think I was at Miami Subs was like halftime of the or third quarter of that Virginia Tech ECU Thursday night game when Vic came here and it got ugly.
Yeah.
And I bounced out of there and went to Miami Subs. I think it's the last time I've ever been there.
Oh, that was an incredible play. Listen, at the end of the day, they've had 5 years to develop. In this industry they're in, they knew Holton Ahlers was going to graduate. They've had a time to evaluate the quarterback and to either, that is the guy, or go to the transfer portal and get someone. And they have failed tremendously on that. I mean, even the Skip Holtz teams that were, defensive minded. I mean, Patrick and Cavs gave you enough to win ball games. We don't have that right now. And Mike, listen, I think Mike Houston can coach football, but I think his stubbornness at the end of the day is going to be the death of his coaching career, because I just don't think he's not. We're not a team to line the ball. You talk about the offensive line. Yeah, Ruff's offensive lines weren't great, but you know what? Carden was getting the ball out quick. They ran the offense around their strengths, not the way. And you try to pound the ball up the middle. It's not going to work for these guys. And and as much as Mike Houston, when he came in, he did change the thing. As much as he threw that former staff under the bus as many times as he did a lot of that in the press conferences. Guy, you're 0-3 right now, and the quarterback that you started today was not your recruit. He was not your guy. And Holton Ahlers got better because he went to that Manning Pathé Academy. Y'all haven't developed a quarterback yet in 5 years. And y'all have to figure that out. This discipline, the penalties, how many penalties today? How many, 75 yards worth? 80?
It was 10 for 80 at last check on the UB stat sheet.
I mean, that is discipline, and you drilled that in this fan base's head that this is going to be a disciplined team. They were going to do the right thing. This is going to be this, and we're not going to go back to where we were in 2017 and 2018. Well, guess what, Mike? You're damn near getting close right now. So I appreciate it, fellas. Y'all have a great Mark C. We're gonna get you that Miami Subs, baby. Come on.
All right.
Only the 90 Pirates can survive.
No doubt.
All right, B-Pays. Appreciate it, man. 317-1250. Steve, Lou, and Tim, hang on. We'll take a timeout, come back. More of your calls on the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show. Back with you after this.
Attention athletes and fans. Tiebreakers is looking for all-stars. Do you know an athlete who made a game-winning play, scored an amazing touchdown, or hit a huge home run? We're scouting Eastern North Carolina for this month's most outstanding athlete. Go to tiebreakersathlete.com to nominate your favorite player for the prestigious Athlete of the Month award. Tiebreakers, shining a light on the athletes that make Eastern North Carolina proud. Submit your nomination now at tiebreakersathlete.com.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, this is State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer right here in Greenville. We can switch your auto and home insurance so you can start saving today. My team and I are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Timothy Sawyer State Farm, it's easy to switch and save. Just give us a call, 493-0002. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This isn't your regular cola, so this isn't your regular cola ad. No beach parties or family barbecues here, just Nitro Pepsi, the first cola ever infused with nitrogen. So forget everything you thought you knew about soda, because that nitrogen gives us a whole new experience. Think an infusion of smaller bubbles for a cola that's got a lighter, smoother texture. And don't get me started on the pour. You don't pour this like any other cola. We're talking turn the can completely upside down and watch as those bubbles cascade into the glass to create a frothy, luxurious foam topping. Can your cola do that? I didn't think so. Unless you've got your own Nitro Pepsi, in which case cheers to your great taste. Because you already know that the only thing better than the pour is the unapologetic cola taste. What else is there to say? From the creamy foam to the smooth texture to its unbelievably delicious flavor, this is cola like you've never had it before. Time to bring your taste buds to the next frontier. Nitro Pepsi. Smooth, creamy, delicious.
Picking football games against the spread is hard. Shopping at the Appliances Superstore is easy. This is Frank Lee from the Appliances Superstore, and right now we're having a big sale with 50% off open box French door refrigerators. Did you know we also offer delivery and setup when you shop with us? And if we don't have what you want, we will make a special order for you. The Appliances Superstore off 264 behind the new DMV, or shop us online, AppliancesSuperstore.com. Remember, we make buying appliances easy at the Appliances Superstore.
Do you ever talk to yourself about where to eat today? And then you hear,
Warren's Hot Dogs.
Then you're thinking, yeah, 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for only $6.25 would be awesome.
Warren's Hot Dogs.
And maybe some homemade lemonade, perhaps a pizza or a sub, and definitely an apple or peach turnover.
Warren's Hot Dogs.
Don't overthink where to eat today. Go to Warren's Hot Dogs in Greenville across from Ron Ayers, or in Chocowinity next to the fire station. Warren's Hot Dogs, serving the Pirate Nation since 1991. Go Pirates!
Pirate Radio.
Here it is, a first down. Pirates.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter postgame call-in show. Here's Clip Brock. Now, with the Pirate Radio scoreboard, here's Shirley Rhodes.
Well, in the words of Ruffin McNeil, you win by 1 and back out of there. Alabama survives South Florida. They beat them 17-3. Other games going on right now. Washington beating Michigan State 41-0 in the third quarter. It is Villanova getting pounded by UCF in the second quarter. 31-0 is that score. Georgia State leading Charlotte at the half, 20-10. It is Cincinnati leading Miami of Ohio 10-7. Nebraska has a 7-3 lead over Northern Illinois. North Texas leads Louisiana Tech 13-0 in the second quarter. It is SMU 21, Prairie View 0. Oklahoma State trailing South Alabama right now 16-0 in the second quarter. And Florida and Tennessee are playing down in the swamp. Tennessee has a 1-point lead, 7-6. In that game. And that is a look at your Buccaneer Music Hall scoreboard, brought to you by The Buck. It is your beacon of music in the land of the Pirates, with live music 7 days a week. And on Sundays is Sunday Fun Day. You can come and watch your favorite NFL teams at The Buck on the largest 4K TV in Eastern North Carolina, along with 18 big screen TVs, so you don't miss a game. And they do jersey giveaways on Sundays as well. Visit thebuccaneermusichall.com for a complete schedule of events this week, and see and be seen at The Buck. Now let's head back into the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter postgame call-in show. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
43-28 in the final today. Score looks a little better thanks to two defensive touchdowns by East Carolina, a pick six and a scoop and score. But the Pirates dropped to 0-3 on the season, with the running Bulldogs of Gardner-Webb coming up next Saturday. All right, Kyle in LaGrange, hang on. Tim, Lou, hang on. Let's go to Steve in Raleigh. Hello, Steve.
Clip, fellas, how we doing tonight?
Doing all right.
Good. Just a couple quick things. I think the first thing is my napkin math is in the second half of games so far this year, we're getting outscored 55-13. Only touchdown being a defensive score, and I just think that's really, really tough. I mean, the Michigan game's a Michigan game, but now we're starting to see a sample size of this team fading down in the second half, and I think that's probably one of the biggest things I think that would really help, is just getting that momentum going forward. It just seems like this team fades. Teams get used to, or they know what's coming, especially with it seemed like the pressure really ramped up in the second half. They're the ones making the adjustments, not us. And then I think kind of the second thing is, I know whenever during the Mo years, we used to have a lot of big picture conversations about this program, and I think it's kind of at the point now where we're thinking the same thing. You got to hope that last year wasn't the peak for this kind of program. Now, where you're going 7 wins, winning a bowl game, that was awesome, but I think we're all hoping to kind of take the next step and, to see season ticket sales down year over year. From a fan perspective, it seems like the momentum's been lost a little bit with the indoor facility. I hope, for our sake, this thing can get turned around this year, because you don't want to kind of slide back with all the good work Mike and his crew did these first 4 years. But it's getting a little concerning, I think, at this point with the start we've had this year. Curious to hear y'all's thoughts on that. Thanks.
Yeah, good call, Steve.
Well, I'll tell you what, Steve touched on the second half. I've got the second half stats here, and it's abysmal. I mean, it is a total domination by App State. 27-7 in the second half. App State 253 total yards to 42 for East Carolina. ECU had -5 rushing yards in the second half, as opposed to 114 for App State. Penalties, of course, 30 yards of penalties. App State had 1 penalty for 5 yards in that second half. They were 60 or 75% on third down. App State was 6 of 8. ECU 1 of 5. I mean, you just go down the list. Turnovers, of course, in favor of App State. That second half was abysmal.
Not to let the defense off the hook here. They're responsible for part of that too. But how many 3-and-outs are in there? How many times did we go out there on offense, punt the ball immediately, put the defense right back out on the field? I mean, we saw that today. I feel like we saw that last week too against Marshall, and that is not helping those guys out on that side of the ball.
Yeah, well, there were 2 punts in the second half for East Carolina, but there were also 2 turnovers too.
Turnovers,
so, between the turnovers and going 3-and-out.
Yeah,
it's you're putting your defense on the heel.
It's discouraging for the defense, right? When they see it over and over and over again, it's like it comes to a point of, what's next?
Right.
What's going to happen next?
It's
right?
like we're doing whatever. What else do you want us to do? We're doing what we can. You got to help us out here, and it's not happening.
Yeah. All right, and made some other good points as well, and I can't remember what I was going to say, so I'm going to go to the next call. 317-1250. Lou is up in D.C. Hello, Lou.
Hey, how's it going? This is Lou. I actually live in North Dakota these days, but third-generation pirate, so very proud of the school and just everything that's been going on. Like the direction we've kind of taken over the last few years with Houston. I just want to kind of get off my chest. I think over the last week at least, Houston's like just kind of interactions with the media and like how it pertains to the fan group. I don't know if he's really like sticking or trying to alienate the fan groups, like where it's the team and him against like the ECU fans and everybody. But I think, like we're frustrated as a fan group and we have a right to be. And I think he needs to do a little bit better job kind of just handling that / giving us a reason to be excited for this week coming up against Gardner-Webb. So I got.
All right. Yeah. I mean, Mike Houston does kind of take him and his team, him against the world kind of view sometimes. I mean, this week he had, and I agree with him too. He's, if he said, if you are hitting the panic button now, that says more about you than it does us, because he can't tell his guys in the locker room, hey, panic time, guys. We're 0-2. Time to panic. No, he's got to keep them together. And I do think, though, sometimes he does kind of nip at the fans a little bit. It's interesting to see, and I'm interested to see his temper when and his mood this Tuesday and Wednesday when we talk to him.
It's not going to be good.
Does he double down on it? Does he ease off on it? I don't know.
Well, and I think it goes back to what one of the callers said earlier, and I think this goes a little bit. This could be said a little bit about just about every head coach there is. They're set in their ways. It's hard to get a coach to change their mindset or to change what they do. And I think one of the callers had said, Mike Houston's stubborn. But I think there's a lot of stubbornness to a lot of head coaches.
Yeah,
I think
no
it's
doubt.
hard. It's hard to get them out of that.
Yeah, and I said this last week in regards to when you look at the good defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators, they're going to play the head coach, right, so to speak, in regards. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. They're going to teams know that he's been that run first type of guy, and that's what we have been, right, for the most part. And so, man,
predictable.
Well,
predictable.
Let me tell you this, and it didn't work out for me in a good way, but I saw a guy who made a change last year. And it was Coach Munkin up at Army.
Mm-hmm.
Triple option.
Yeah.
Ran the ball all the time, right?
Yep.
Right.
Well, listen, he said, for a lot of reasons, but this is the one that he put out. The new rules prevented us from being able to run the triple option effectively.
Right. Cut blocks.
The cut blocks were
That's
gone.
right, yeah.
So you know what they went to?
Absolutely.
Do you know what they went to?
Because that's their bread and butter.
That was their bread and butter. And trust me, I coached the slot backs.
Yeah.
It was hard to go cut well, you couldn't cut them. It's hard to go take a 175-pound kid and tell him to go block a 260-some pound.
That's the only way you could do it was cut block.
Back in the day, that's all you could do. But last year, you had to stay up.
Right.
But they made the change. And it wasn't good at first. But last night, they played a heck of a game.
Yeah.
So at some point in time as a coach, you got to be willing to change and adjust. The game changes, you know.
And still.
And your athletes change.
And your athletes change.
Yeah, that's right. I think they still only threw the ball like 17 times.
Well,
but
Army would throw it once.
Oh, I know. I get what you're saying.
And it was balanced.
They moved back into shotgun, and you think they're going to throw the football out.
No, there's still a heavy emphasis on run.
Absolutely.
They've changed what type of runs they're running.
Right.
They're not running triple option anymore. But they do sprinkle some of that in there when they get on third and short because of the personnel that they got.
Mm-hmm.
But they changed, man. And to their credit, he got out of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, we all got to get out of our comfort zone sometime to grow. That's what life is about, right?
Here's the thing about the triple option and the game today. I'm going to give you, and we've talked about this as well. People, shotgun option or RPO, all it is just the triple option from shotgun. That's all it is, really.
Yeah.
And you're just giving the quarterback a different type of option in regards to throwing the football down the field. And, before when you had that, you're going down the line of scrimmage and then you drop back and throw the football kind of deal. Mm-hmm. It's just different. It's a different way to get to the pass as opposed to being under center.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
But all I'm saying is they made the change and adjustment.
Yeah.
For the better.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
317-1250. Tim is up next in Raleigh. Hey, Tim.
Hey, fellas. How's it going?
All right.
There's no doubt everybody wants Coach Houston to be successful. Any coach that comes to the university, you want him to be successful. I just can't figure out for the life of me why I couldn't find a quarterback in the portal. you've seen coaches be stubborn, like you said, and that's a common trait with a lot of head coaches. But I wonder how many schools after 3 games has had 1 touchdown pass after the first 3 games. I mean that is ridiculous. If my math is right, I went back and looked at the box scores, and I think that it's only 1 touchdown pass in 3 games.
Yeah, 2-yard touchdown last week.
Yeah, so I think that was the one last week. Then 3 interceptions today. I just for the life of me can't figure that out. You want to be successful. I think we just got to find the right guy. I called in, a few years ago. I got laughed at. It's all right. But I said that I was sitting there looking at what North Carolina State was doing with Eli Drinkwitz. And he could recruit North Carolina. He got a bunch of North Carolina kids. Got Naheem Hines from Garner High School. Watched him play in high school. And recruiting North Carolina boys. He, went on to App State, won the conference. Now he's sitting at, Missouri and watched it on the television before, our game today. And they hit a 61-yard field goal to beat number 15 Kansas State, and he's got like the number 1 or 2 recruit in the country coming next year from the defensive line. This is supposed to be an elevation year for Houston, and it's a regression. I mean, it's horrible. I just can't for the life of me figure it out. We got to find the right guy. You want Houston to be successful. Clearly, there's a lot of things going on in the locker room in the program. But the next hire it's got to be somebody that can recruit the boys in North and South Carolina on this level. It can't be on the FCS level. We need to go out there and find a really good coordinator. I understand, Mo, yes, he was an ACC coordinator, but come on, Duke is not, recruiting a bunch of local boys. They can recruit nationwide, and it's Duke, and they've, anyways, they're better this year, but when Mo was there. But we got to find the right guy, and I'm just sick and tired of watching this every week in and out. For years now. Last year was a little bit better, but, relatively, over the past decade, it hasn't been anything. So I think it's time to move on whenever his contract is up. We can't fire him, but we just got to look for that right guy. And, might not want to go – your argument to me years ago was we don't want another ACC coordinator. Might not want an ACC coordinator, but we got to find the right guy that can recruit at this level and get the players in here. That's all I got to say.
All right. Well, Mike Houston's contract is up after the 2026 season, so call us back in a few years.
And what did we talk about earlier in the break? Recruiting your state.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about Texas.
Yeah.
They recruit their state.
Yeah.
Florida recruits their state. Back in the day when East Carolina was winning and they were doing really, really well, they recruited hard and heavy in the state of North Carolina.
ECU recruit the state?
Yeah, they recruit the state. I'm saying, but there are big recruits in the state that are going to other places that aren't coming to East Carolina.
Well, I'm going to say it from this point because I done sat in that chair and recruited kids and at East Carolina, and I can tell you this: if they got an offer from an ACC school in East Carolina, forget it.
Yep.
Yeah. Just gonna tell you. What's making it tougher nowadays is now if you got an offer from East Carolina and App State, what happens?
Right.
Back in the day, we won that battle. Right now, what's gonna happen? You get an offer
and
from
Charlotte's another one you put on there.
That was the next name I was getting ready to say. You get an offer from East Carolina and Charlotte. What do you do?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm hot about this.
And so that's why you got to win. You're right. That's why we got to continue to win because I'm pissed off we lose to App State. I think we're a better program. We done did a lot.
Yeah.
But those battles are sometimes, people say get the right kids in here. Do you know where Jeff Blake's from?
Florida.
It's from Florida.
Yeah.
You know where Robert Jones is from?
Yeah.
You know where Chris Johnson's from?
Florida.
Just go find the right guys.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't care where they come from because you got to think about it now. We got, 6 D1 schools that's playing in this area, if I'm not correct, right? Between App State, UNC Charlotte, North Carolina, NC State, Duke, us, Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Okay? That's a lot of people to bite off this state.
Not even counting Virginia,
Virginia Tech, Old Dominion, those teams that will dip down here, James Madison. You're in competition with a lot of people now to get that same product. So you got to be flexible to go and make sure that you can expand to go get guys. I have no knock about where they're getting guys from. You would love to stay in your backyard. I don't know if our backyard is big enough to get that done. When you talk about Florida and Texas and stuff, there are a lot of people in those states too.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, but to make up to talk about his point in regards to the bigger stars, the 5 stars or whatever going out elsewhere, we have to win these type of football games for those guys to stay here.
To even consider staying here.
I totally agree.
Absolutely.
I think
so if we're not winning those games, of course they're going to go.
Well, I don't even think it's the case for the 4 and 5 stars. I think those guys are going regardless.
They're going. It's the 3 stars.
It's the 3 stars that we got.
It's the 2 and 3 stars where East Carolina made a living on.
We made a living on.
And Billy, you know this. I mean, Todd Gurley, where did he go to school?
Oh yeah,
Georgia
Tarboro.
But
Tarboro
the pecking order, the best players are going out of the state.
That's right.
Going south.
Yes.
Most likely.
Tarboro's got guys that have gone to Ohio State. They've gone to Georgia. They've gone to Virginia Tech. All those places. Not here.
Now, this is when you recruit those type of kids. When you're coming out and you put that effort, you have to know how much time to put into that kid.
That's right.
Because you could be you're wasting your time when it's Ohio State, Georgia. Yep. But what you do is you recruit them hard enough that if it doesn't work out there, they feel comfortable with picking up the phone, calling you back, and saying, "Hey."
Especially Coach, now, right? The portal.
Especially now with the portal.
And getting on them early to be the first one to offer, because a lot of that sticks in the minds of a lot. I've talked to a lot of high school players.
Yes.
And that first offer is always a big one.
No doubt.
Because it's the very first one. Now, they could get offered after that, the Ohio States, the Texases, the Florida States, you name it, the big program.
Yeah.
But they always remember that one. And especially, like you just said, with the portal, they always remember coming home.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Michelle said, "Guys, wrap it up. We want to hear Kyle." All right,
bring it on, Kyle.
All right, Michelle. Kyle is up in LaGrange. Hello, Kyle.
What's going on, guys? Michelle, I don't know who you are, but here I am. Hit me up on Facebook.
Shooting a shot.
You always got to shoot your shot. Hey, look, guys. I said something last week, and I'll point it out again. And it's something that I keep thinking. Coach Houston had 2 years at Illinois, or 3 years at Illinois Ryan, 2 years at Citadel, 3 years at James Madison. He's never been through one true recruiting cycle. You know, this is his first time going through a second 4-year recruiting cycle. I don't think he built well for it. I really believe last year he thought he was going to ride Holton and Keaton and all those guys to 10, 11 wins and be in the ACC or SEC this year. And I don't think he prepared well recruiting. I don't think we worked the portal well. We really didn't start working the portal hard until after spring. To get the best players out the portal, you need to be doing that during, signing day period, not post spring, because you're just taking what's left. Whoever knows they're not playing after spring ball. We look like we did find one good receiver doing that with Sorrell, kid from Colorado, however you say his name. He looks like he's going to be pretty good. Several things are bothering me. We couldn't run the ball today at all. Our O-line is bad. Then maybe they'll get good as the season goes. Maybe they'll gel. I'm not saying they're not talented. They're not good right now. They need to get good fast. Because we can throw the ball a little bit today, but absolutely no running game at all, which is very concerning. The penalties, you know what this is starting to remind me of a little bit, and I hate to say it, but with all the penalties we got, and you look at how well Houston's teams played the previous years, starting to remind me a little bit of Chuck Amato's last season, where Chuck started off great at NC State his first couple of years, then progressively got worse in his last season. They were the most penalized team in college football, as we are right now. So it's starting to remind me a little bit of that. Collins said earlier that we couldn't fire Houston. Bull crap. If somebody wants him gone bad enough, they'll figure out how to fire him, rather. They'll figure out how to find him, too. I'm not calling for any of that. Don't get me wrong. But I am very concerned. And you look at Gardner Webb next week, man. I don't know if you guys have looked. Gardner Webb has played 4 FBS programs the last 2 seasons, 3 last year, 1 so far this year. Appalachian State score was 45-24, very similar to ours. Their score against Liberty last year, we all know how good Liberty was last year. They lost to Liberty 21-20. And then they played Coastal. You remember we played Coastal in a bowl game. Gardner Webb played them to a 31-27 game last year. So Gardner Webb's a formidable opponent. And people, some people are bringing up, I've seen a lot of people online, this is Scotty Montgomery bad. I won't go so far to say that, and what's the point of throwing Montgomery under the bus at this point. But we lose to Gardner Webb next weekend, things can get out of hand. And this football team, I do think we have some talent on defense, and we play hard on defense, and we can force some turnovers and do some things on defense. But as somebody pointed out earlier, we run out of gas late in the ball game, and we get frustrated because the offense is literally doing nothing. You had some hope in the first half, the way Flynn come out through and throwing the ball and ran it well in goal line situations with Rajay. But besides in the red zone, we couldn't run the ball today at all. So it went from not being able to pass the ball, and we weren't able to run the ball last week except with Mason. So I don't know what the hell you do. We got a lot of things to fix on offense. And the biggest thing we got to fix is the penalties, because every penalty today was in a key situation. So you got to clean that crap up. If we lose to Gardner-Webb next weekend, and I think it's entirely possible, as bad as that is to say, they were an FCS playoff team last year. I just went over all their scores against FBS opponents. If we lose to Gardner-Webb next year, it's going to get bad around here. It's going to get – you're going to see a lot of people calling for him to get fired, and I think Houston can turn it around. I think he's going to have to make some changes on his staff, and he's going to have to really work that transfer portal hard during the offseason. But I think he can turn it around, next year. And I'm not writing off this year yet in terms of conference championships and bowl games, probably so. But I still think this team can improve and by the end of the year be winning some ball games. One thing we can't do is lose to Gardner-Webb and Charlotte. Those are 2 games we got to win. That's all I got, guys. I ain't even fired up this week. Just disappointed. Go Pirates, and talk to y'all next week.
All right, Kyle. A subdued Kyle LaGrange.
Yeah, good call.
You'll get a fired up Kyle if things don't go well next week. I can tell you that. But
if things don't go well next week, there'll be an average of 15,000 fans for the rest of the home games.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's going to be pretty. It's going
to be pretty ugly this coming weekend.
Yeah. And Gardner-Webb, by the way, I looked at it. They are receiving the 3rd most votes in the so they're 28th in the FCS right now. So they're borderline top 25 in the FCS. We got to win the game, but they are going to be a formidable opponent.
Wow. Well, man,
and this is where we are.
I don't even have the words to truly say other than that we're worried about beating Gardner.
It's sad, yeah. It's tough.
If we were playing in that game, we were saying, okay, how long was it going to take for us to get our backups in the game? That was our goal.
Yeah.
When we played the FCS team, we want to get our guys who's practiced hard throughout the week in the ball game.
Right.
But man, times are difficult at times, and I get it, man. Yeah. I don't know.
All right, Andy, Rod, Andrew, hang on. We're going to get to you next. 317-1250 as we roll on the U.S. Sailor 5th quarter call-in show. The Gators putting it on Tennessee right now. I believe it's 19-7. That score, 20-7. Right now in the Swamp. Also going on, 19-7. Syracuse up 7-0 on Purdue. Ole Miss up 10-0 on Georgia Tech. A lot going on. We'll keep you up to date with all that. Pitt 3, West Virginia 0 in the Backyard Brawl. More to go on the U.S. Sailor 5th quarter call-in show after this.
The Buccaneer Music Hall is your beacon of music in the land of pirates in eastern North Carolina. Open 7 days a week with live music. Every Monday, open mic night. Tuesday, karaoke with DJ Captain Morgan. Wednesday, acoustic night. Thursday night, line dancing and music from DJ Dog. On Friday and Saturday night, enjoy the best local bands in the area. And don't forget, Sunday Fun Day during football season with NFL jersey giveaways and more. Check out Facebook and Instagram for all up-to-date info. Y'all come get bucked up. Go Pirates!
Be sure to check out David Price Construction for all of your commercial or custom residential renovation and building needs. Run by ECU alumni, David Price Construction specializes in commercial projects, maintenance on facilities, and large-scale residential renovations and additions. Proud to be voted the Remodeler of the Year by the Home Builders Association of Raleigh-Wake County in 2018 and Best Business Commercial Remodel Project winner for 2020. David Price Construction, the proud ECU Home Services partner.
This is Martin Truex Jr., and as a NASCAR Cup Series champion, I love one-stop shopping. When I need fresh tires or fuel during a race, my pit crew takes care of everything. Off the track, I have an Auto Owners independent agent. They handle all my insurance in one place: car, home, life, and business. Get your own pit crew and find a local agency with Auto Owners Insurance.
This is Brian Smith with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
What's up, Pirate Nation? Kyle Gaines here at Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Washington, North Carolina, letting you know about our huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, certified vehicles, vehicles for every budget, starting at $799 and up. And don't forget, we have all your off-road accessories here with our Washington off-road packages. So bring your Jeep, Ram, or other maker model, and we will take care of your accessories for you. Also, check us out online at WashingtonCDJR.com. Remember, drive a little, save a lot. Go Pirates.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Russell with Russell's Clothing in downtown Washington. Believe it or not, fall weather is coming and we're getting ready for some Pirate football. Russell's has a long history of dressing Pirate fans, both men and women. To make room for fall and game day apparel, we're taking final markdown on all men's and women's summer merchandise of 50 to 75%. That's right, save 50 to 75% on summer merchandise. As we get ready, join us in wishing the Pirates a healthy and successful season. So remember, for all your game day apparel and accessories, it's Russell's in downtown Washington.
Take control of your health today with ArcPoint Labs. Looking to lose weight? Have you tried everything possible and nothing is working? Sometimes a hormone imbalance can be the underlying cause to weight issues that dieting and exercise can't fix alone. A simple blood test at ArcPoint Labs can provide insight to your weight loss goals. Visit arcpointlabs.com today or call 629-6228 to get an appointment. ArcPoint Labs. Accurate, reliable, confidential testing. Visit arcpointlabs.com.
Blue cheese 42! Blue cheese 42! Hot garlic! Hot garlic! Loaded waffle fries! Loaded waffle fries! Set! Wings over! Delay of order on the offense. Don't hesitate to make your order. Order today by going online at wingsover.com or by calling 758-9464. Wings Over Greenville has over 20 flavors to choose from, including the all-new Fire Buffalo. And be sure to try the cheesy chicken loaded nachos. So don't delay, order today. Wings Over, they deliver.
Pirate Radio. The voice of the Pirate Nation.
1, 2, 3, over!
You're listening to the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter postgame call-in show. Here's Clip Brock.
All right, 317-1250, back with you. Jason, are you pointing that Wyoming leads Texas in the first quarter?
Yes, I am.
How about them Cowboys? 7-0.
Wait, they say it's still, well, that clock's been wrong all day. They said it was 15 minutes still in the game, so did they take the kickoff back?
Try to figure out what's going on there. And,
well, they still have to run at least a couple seconds off.
You're right.
All right, maybe that should have been 15 seconds or 15 minutes in the second. Should have been a
12:42. 12:42 left to go first quarter. Wyoming 7, Texas nothing.
Yeah, the clock's
there. You go. Yeah. All right, Donna, Andy, and Rod. Hang on. Let's go to Andrew, who is up in Boone. Hey, Andrew. Andrew did not wait through the break. Sometimes you got to be a little patient. Let's go to Rod in Wilmington next. Hey, Rod.
Hey, fellas. Good evening to you, Shirley, and you guys tonight. Yeah, it was a tough one to watch. We got off pretty good, generating some more offense, and dogged the same thing that been happening to us. Those penalties just killed it. And if we could have stayed alive on those third down conversions, we could have stayed on the field a lot more. It would have made a difference in the ball game. Could have got us down in field goal ranges, maybe a few more opportunities. You keep the offense on the field. That's a big part of the game. And we scored twice on defense, but usually you score on offense. So we need to figure out a way to get rid of these penalties that are just killing us. The other thing we got to do is we got to get pressure on these quarterbacks, and we need to start doing it from right off the bat and throughout the game as we go. What Jason said about setting up the run with the pass, they could do that. But if you get the pressure on them, I mean, we got to pick 6 out of that because we had pressure on them at time, and but these penalties made a big difference in every single game so far, and we really got to do something about that.
No doubt, Rod. Again, it's a head scratcher because ECU's been pretty good with penalty-wise under Mike Houston, but it's more than a trend. Back-to-back weeks with double-digit penalties. Last week we were over 100 yards. At last check, we were at 80 today on the UB stat sheet. I don't know if we had any more after that, but it is killing the Pirates right now.
Well, I think going into today, they had 200 yards in penalties in the first two games. So they were averaging 100 yards of penalties, and they almost got to 100 yards today. So when you're up in that territory, something needs to be done. But my question to you guys is, what do you do in practice to fix that?
Well, let me tell you, this week, Mike Houston was asked about it, and he gave we have discussed them. We've taken care of them. We've disciplined them and all that. So I guess he's probably going to say the same thing. But back to Billy's question, what can you do about it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever?
Accountability. I mean, what we would do is you had a deal where, you saw who did the penalty, offense on the offensive side or whatever, defensive side, whoever's getting the penalty, and you try to make them do accountabilities. And what that is you do up downs for those as a group. You circle the group up. My name's Jason Nichols. I had 2 penalties and da-da-da-da-da, and you had to do up downs, And so something as simple as that, just to reiterate that we can't do that. Now, places that we've done that at, typically you see the penalties go down when they know that, man, we're going to be running, we're going to be doing up downs. But, it's just it's a bad trend that we got going right now.
No doubt.
Now, when you talk about accountability, too, there's also a part of that, and Marcus, you can attest to this, when you don't have an official leader out there on that field. Like last year, if you have Holton Ahlers in this same situation and you're getting penalties and that offense is backing up, you can guarantee Holton is getting in somebody's face on the field or on the sidelines. This ain't happening. Yeah. You're killing us here. Yeah. There's no accountability to your leader because there's no leader on the field.
Well, that's why coaches always stress the best football teams are the ones that are player-led, right? Because when the players take that responsibility, it goes further. They're used to hearing it from us coaches.
Right.
They're used to us being down their throat. Some point in time, somebody has to say, look, man, this is it. This is why we're losing.
Yeah.
317-1250. Thank you, Rod. We go next to Andy in Charlotte. Hey, Andy.
Hey, guys. How are you?
All right.
So I'm very confused and conflicted, and I don't even really know where to begin after 3 games. There's no doubt Flynn definitely gives us a better chance than Garcia. But I can't help but wonder why, after seeing him play today, what was happening in practice that led Houston to believe that Garcia was our guy, right? And we didn't see Flynn until late in the game against Marshall, right? So, I mean, you can't go back and say, I wish, hey, but like, what is going on in practice that Flynn did not get that PT in the Marshall game? Now, going into today's game with Flynn, you got to help him. You got to catch the ball. You got to protect it. You got to limit the penalties, right? If you look at the passes that were dropped, if we catch those passes, how much of a difference does that make? It was a relatively close game, right? If we cut those penalties in half, how much does that make a difference in the game, right? And you guys mentioned it earlier. How do you coach that? How do you coach that in practice to not drop the ball, to not have stupid, penalties, right? And as far as the defense, I've defended the defense all season long. We've always been kind of the opposite of we never really bent, but we broke, right? We always give a big play here and there. So it's kind of the opposite of bend, don't break. But today we were bending, we were breaking. And I know we had some defensive TDs and scores, which is great. But at State, I didn't watch any of the Carolina game, but did they have any guys that really wowed you, that really jumped off the page in terms of their stats and what they did today? I just felt like it was a really vanilla sort of App State offense. And you guys mentioned it there. They went 6 of 8 on third down in the second half. You're 6 of 8? Good gosh. And then looking back at this past week and what Houston making those comments, it was really disheartening to hear that he's kind of pointing out at the fans now. He needs to be worried about these penalties. He needs to be worried about the quarterback position and protecting that quarterback instead of, that was very, very disheartening. And I've always defended him too. And I'm sitting here watching. I'm streaming the Charlotte game right now. Guess what? Charlotte's going to beat us at homecoming. They're going to beat us at homecoming. And you're talking about Gardner Webb. Well, these are 2 or 3 wins that we need to have. Well, good luck trying to find them, guys, because after what I've been seeing, I don't know if we're going to get those. So appreciate what you guys do. I'm going to take it off.
All right, Andy. Appreciate the call, man. I tell you what, I can't lose to Biff, man. If we lose to Biff, I'm out of here. It's over. I'm done. We can't lose to Biff.
Interesting watching this Florida-Tennessee game because Jason Nichols over there kind of pointing out what we should be doing. Some double-stacked receivers on 2 ends. You're spreading out the field, and then they're running the game. They're using the running game off of that spread offense.
Man,
I mean,
it makes it hard for that overhang player.
It does.
He has to declare.
Yeah.
And if he declares out, great. That means we should be able to have a chance to hand it off because they got 2 high safeties. Who cares? Safeties making tackles, that's a good thing.
Right, absolutely.
Running the ball.
Yeah.
And we did it. I think we just got to have a better
stay in it.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Stay in it.
Better plan.
Build passes off of it.
Yeah.
Like Tennessee's going to get out there and they're going to run some passes because they'll throw the screen out there. Then they'll run some vertical switches off of it. I mean, it's putting it together. You know.
Absolutely.
317-1250. Donna is up next in West Virginia. Hello, Donna.
Hello, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. I'll make this brief because I might lose my signal up here. But, we were talking earlier about, it's not time to panic yet. But when is that time? Because I'm getting a little nervous, We're going against Gardner Webb next weekend, which should hopefully be a good game, a nice, make it so we're not 0-3 anymore. But, it's kind of nerve-wracking when we see the same song and dance every single week, that they're being held accountable, there's going to be changes, and then we see a flop in the game. So what are you guys thinking? How are you guys feeling about going into Gardner Webb? Because for me, I'm a little nervous.
I don't want Jason and Marcus to answer this. They're just going to get mad, and for good reason, that we even have to have this discussion.
Oh, man. I'm hot.
Here's my panic schedule. If you lose to Gardner Webb, absolutely.
Full-on panic.
Yeah, panic.
Full-on panic mode.
Yeah, not 5-alarm panic mode, whatever. If you win that game and then lose to Rice, SMU, and Charlotte, you panic, I think. But there are panic opportunities on this schedule. Now, I don't think it's the time, although if you're starting to lean that way, I certainly understand. 0-3 stinks, and you just did not want to come out of these first 3 games winless. I get it. I'm not going to panic yet, but there are plenty of reasons why Pirate fans would be panicking at the moment.
Well, let me tell you the one reason, and playing devil's advocate here, the one reason you don't panic, because a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about is what? It's fixable. The penalties are fixable. The guys catching passes on 3rd down is fixable. It really is.
I don't know. It's
Flynn's
what they
gonna get better if they stay. If they stick with him and say, you're our guy, he's going to get better. Had he got more playing time and been the starter in the Marshall game, I'm sure those 3 interceptions don't happen today. Maybe 1, but I don't think he throws 3.
I think you're right. Some of these things are fixable. Some of them I don't know, to be honest with you. Receivers dropping balls. Man, I know this as a receivers coach. Either you know how to catch it or you don't.
Yeah.
It's hard to fix that during the season. And what I mean by that is you recruit that. You got to find guys that naturally catch the football. Not trapping it, but use those hands to catch it. You can fix Flynn as he grows because him or Garcia will grow as quarterbacks the more reps that they get in a ball game. That's why it's important to play kids, which is what we do a lot on both sides of the ball, especially on the defensive side. I've always seen those guys rotate a lot of guys through. That's why it's not that big of a fall off right now on the defensive side of the ball, even though we lost a lot of kids last year. People forget we lost a lot on that defense last year, but they play a lot of kids over there. The one position that you don't play a lot of people at is quarterback, and it's a crucial position. And I get it. You can't play rotating quarterbacks, but sitting on the sideline doesn't help you grow as a quarterback. So I don't know.
Can you fix the offensive line?
That's tough, man. I think those guys, as they play more together, because
it's like the quarterback position. They've got to grow.
They got to grow together.
Yeah.
Those five have to start developing one mindset of how they're, communicating, who they're working to, flipping protections. It's that's a frustrating part now.
On that note, every other team's going to get better too. Are we? I mean, that's why I'm worried. I don't know how much of this is fixable to the point where we could turn this whole ship around right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm hot. That's why I'm hot. It's because I want to win every game.
Me too.
And we were taught or coached or whatever you want to call it. Man, we just don't lose 2 games in a row.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And,
Championship.
That's right. That's
Man,
right.
Find a way to get that next win.
That's a big point right there. We got preached on that right there. Good teams don't lose 2 games in a row. Go win the next one.
That's right.
And that was huge. I tell you, for the most part, we never did.
No.
I mean, there might have been a week or two in our careers where we might have lost back-to-back games, but I promise you, we bounced back for the most part.
Yeah.
All right, 317-1250. Andrew is up in Boone. Hey, Andrew.
Hey guys, I'm up here in Boone, and pretty rowdy time. Ruthless fans up here in Boone, but want to say quarterback issue. We've got a major issue we got to figure out right now. I don't know if it's Mason's issue, Flynn, or Donnie issue. I did see a Pirate fan wearing a Fire Donnie shirt tonight. That was kind of interesting. But I was on the Flynn kick. I was ready to see him roll out there and do things, and I felt like he moved the ball very well at times. But then again, I'm like second-guessing, like, is he our guy or is Mason our guy? Flynn, I mean, at the same time, you take away those 2 defensive touchdowns, and that's 14 points by Flynn. I mean, that's 40-some points.
That's double the production of Garcia.
Andrew, it is such sad times that I'm sitting here saying, what is Andrew talking about? And then I think about it. We got a quarterback that threw 3 interceptions, only led the team to 14 points, and I'm like, this is our guy.
Right.
That's how bad of a situation we're in right now.
I'm still kind of questioning because I was ready to see him out there, but I don't know, but then at the same time, you got guys dropping passes. That didn't help things. But another thing I want to say, recruiting-wise, where are we at? Do you guys know where we're at in comparison to App with recruiting-wise? Because, that little Noel guy, he was just speed. And I'm just wondering, like, are we ahead of them in recruiting, or are they ahead of us?
I don't know. I'll see if I can do a quick look on that. But, I mean, we see how much recruiting can matter when, we got our 4-star quarterback who is our highest rated recruit ever, who right now might not be starting any more games.
That's why I'm saying, East Carolina had made a living on those guys that were 2- and 3-star recruits, or guys that didn't get recruited by anyone and had a chip on their shoulder and came to East Carolina and played.
Well, listen, I just got a text from somebody who said, App State looked smaller than us, but they were more physical. And I told somebody that, I think in here I talked about that. Whenever I worked up there for Coach Moore for 3 years, it wasn't about how pretty they look.
Yeah.
It was about how hard they play.
Yeah.
And if you play hard, it doesn't matter how big you are. It does and doesn't. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a 150-pound nose tackle, but you gotta play hard. And those guys have always been built that way.
Yep.
They go and look at talent. You got to look at talent. You can't look at anything else. What is the film telling me about this player?
Right.
So 2023 recruiting ratings on 24/7 had East Carolina at 65 and had App State at 80. I don't know if that tells you anything. So.
Wow. All right. Well, good. Well, only other thing I want to say is I think to fix all this, we just got to get the team boneyard, and that'll fix everything. And every dollar takes, and give to them, and there we go. Let's go Pirates.
All right, Andrew. Thank you, man. There is Andrew calling from Boone. Jack, David, Scott, hang on. Going to get to your calls when we return. Now's a good time for you to call 758-WING and enjoy some delicious wings over Greenville. They got the giant tenders, the traditional wings, the tots, the fries, and everything in between. Give them a call, and they will deliver right to your door. We are back with more on the U.S. Sailor 5th Quarter Call-In Show after this.
Chico!
Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville is the perfect place to get all your amigos together for some Mexican food, fun, and football. Chico's has been a game day tradition for Pirate football fans since 1983. Whether the game is home or away, make it a Chico's Day for some great specials and the best chips and salsa in town. Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville and online at chicosrestaurant.com. Go Pirates!
This is Dr. McGraw from Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. Our practice has been caring for the athletes at ECU and the residents of Eastern North Carolina for more than 35 years. Whether it's treatment for your sports injury or it's time for that joint replacement, Orthopedics East provides the latest in operative and non-operative orthopedic care. We also offer on-site physical therapy and MRI services as well as walk-in urgent care on the weekends from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For experienced and professional care, call us at 757-BONE or visit us online at orthoeast.com. Go Pirates!
Hey, Pirate Nation! Lindsay Gray here with Carolina Caliber. Dove, ducks, and deer, it's that time of year, and we've got the guns and all the gear. When you're not getting rowdy at Dowdy, enjoy browsing our online store and take your pick from the largest selection of firearms and accessories in Eastern NC. Be sure to check out our weekly hot deals, and when you're ready, head to Carolina Caliber. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to lead you to the perfect treasure. Carolina Caliber on Fire Tower Road in Winterville. It's a time-honored tradition.
Are you ready to fall into beauty? Mark your calendar for October 2nd through the 6th to take advantage of the savings on all of Beauty Bar Medispa's services and products. Don't wait for the sale. Save time and money by scheduling your free consultation now. You can trust the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar Medispa for amazing and natural looking results. Schedule your free consultation today and mark your calendar to fall into beauty. October 2nd through the 6th. BeautyBarMedispa.com, Greenville.
Ah, it's that time of year again. Football is back and the pads are popping. And off the field, it's the popcorn at Wally's 2 Kettle Corn that's popping. Whether it's a movie night or watching the big game with your team, Wally's 2 has you covered like ECU's defensive backs. They have over 50 flavors to choose from, including classics like cheddar, caramel, or my favorite, better butter, or specialty flavors such as Chicago Style, Wintergreen Mix, and MJ's Cheesecake. Check them out on Facebook or stop by and see Wally today on Fire Tower Road across from Sam Jones Barbecue. Wally's 2 Kettle Corn. Make it a poppin' day.
Here at Brown & Wood with Jeff Stein. Jeff, I've noticed a lot of great GMC pickup trucks on the lot.
Yes, sir. We have 2500s and 1500s in stock and the all-new 3.0 Duramax diesel. We earn 30 extra trucks on allocation, so go online, brownandwood.com, or stop in, build your truck, we'll get it coming for you. Brown & Wood, voted #1 by the customer in Greenville. 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 rooftops, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
The Sidebar is the place to be this football season in downtown Greenville. Get your team together for dinner on the patio or inside starting at 5:30 Tuesday through Saturday. Or take a break from work and enjoy the tastiest foods around for lunch Thursday through Saturday from 11:30 to 2:30. And on Sundays, enjoy a delicious fall brunch from 11 to 2. Make your reservation today by calling 751-0151. Follow the Sidebar on Facebook or on Instagram at sidebar.greenville for more details. Go Pirates!
This is Jacob Jenkins Cowart, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the U.S. Cellular 5th Quarter Postgame Call-In Show. Here's Clip Brock. Now, with the Pirate Radio Scoreboard, here's Shirley Rhodes.
All right, Charlotte is trying to make a game of it with Georgia State. They have scored 16 points in the third quarter. They now trail Georgia State 34-26. Nebraska has a 14-3 lead over Northern Illinois at the half. It is North Texas 23, Louisiana Tech 14. Auburn has a 17-0 lead over Samford at the half. Tennessee is trailing Florida at halftime. 26-7 is that score. Rice beating up on Texas Southern. 42-7 is that score. Vanderbilt and UNLV are tied at 17 apiece. It is Michigan 7, Bowling Green 6. And Syracuse is leading Purdue 14-7. Ole Miss has a 10-0 lead over Georgia Tech. That is a look at your Buccaneer Music Hall scoreboard, brought to you by the Buck. It is your beacon of music in the land of the Pirates and live music with 7 days a week. And you can come and watch our favorite NFL team on Sunday Fun Day at the Buck with the largest 4K TV in Eastern North Carolina. And, of course, 18 big screens so you don't miss a game. See and be seen at the Buck. Now let's head back into the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter postgame call-in show. Here's your host, Cliff Brock.
All right, back with you on the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show. A long day here in the Pirate Radio studios. And we continue on taking your calls. Brooks says Malik Fleming with an interception for Houston. Not now, Brooks.
Come on, Brooks.
I don't want to hear about that right now. Damon, Scott, David, hang on. Let's go to Jack in Atlantic Beach. Hello, Jack. Jack is gone. Let's try David in Farmville. Hey, David.
Hey guys. So I kind of, after last weekend, kind of settled down a little bit. Watched the game, tried to be open-minded. A couple of things that stood out. I think a lot of it had to do with Flynn. You know, we've heard all week, we haven't thrown the ball downfield. They get the play called. He pushes it a little bit, trying to make a throw that on the first interception he should have thrown the ball deeper. On the second one, just trying to make a play happen that wasn't there. I'm going to attribute a lot of that just to the fact that, like Mason, he just hadn't played much. I'm going to put a little bit of that on the coaching staff. They had two quarterbacks coming into the season. Neither one of them was really season prepared to play, and we're having to deal with that. And we're dealing with a coaching staff that, made that decision, and so we're dealing with it. What really disturbs me is the manhandling that we're getting in the second half and the fourth quarter. Marshall scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. I think in the second half we got outscored 24-7 by App. You've got turnovers and stuff, but the defense, I just wonder what's going on with the defense. Who are they playing? The interception with Antone Jackson was really nice, particularly seeing him in there. I'm glad at least he's getting to play. But that's probably the biggest thing. I think the running game. One thing I noted during the game, they had a second and long, and they ran the ball up the middle, putting them in third and long. And Flynn wound up getting sacked because now you're going to have to make a deep throw. I think when we can get off of the run on first down, run on second down, try and make it all up on third down, we'll be a better offense. We're not quite there yet. The tendency still is to run on first down. And the run is, I guess a zone dive. It's right up the middle. And it doesn't typically go for very much. So it puts us now second and long. And you don't get a whole lot of yards there. It's third and long. And now it's 10 to 15-yard pass. On many of those deep throws, there were guys wide open underneath. I think if they could try to run more slants across the middle, crossing routes, 7 to 8 yards, not 25, I think we'll move the ball a little bit more consistently. I'm not going to panic. After 30-plus years of doing this, it doesn't do anything other than make my wife upset. So I'm just going to let things play out. I hope for the best. I hope the coaching staff can get a little bit more creative and understand exactly what's going on and make more prudent decisions. I'm going to hang up and listen, and I always enjoy it.
All right, David. Thanks, man. Jason, you were asking for some intermediate routes and passes today, and David kind of hitting on that. Well, now we're complaining that we're going downfield too much, I guess. But you want to see more of the intermediate passing game.
Well, you got to have something that can convert, on third and long. That's not always a vertical 50-50 ball, right? Something that can get you maybe 10 to 12 yards, in cuts and some of that type stuff. That's just what I've been used to. You got to have an intermediate passing game. You take shots down the field to create explosion plays. You get the intermediate stuff to keep the drives going. You do the quick game stuff to kind of get the drive started. those are just the thoughts that, I've had and things that we've done in different places that I've been.
317-1250. Scott is up next in Winterville. Hello, Scott.
What's up, Clip?
What's up?
Actually, this is a question for Marcus and Jason. First, Marcus, when I looked on the field tonight, and I looked at the offensive line, I did not recognize any names. How much does that go into what we've seen? Because you got a different perspective of what's going on tonight. And Jason, you touched on it about jug machines and everything about drop passes. What do we do in practice with the offensive line and the wide receivers? I'll hang up and listen.
All right. Thanks, Scott. So, Marcus, I think he's saying a patchwork offensive line, unfamiliar names, haven't played a ton of football. How much is that part affecting the lack of offense for this team right now?
Well, I mean, it's affecting a lot. I mean, the offensive line has to make a name for themselves, right? And he talked about he didn't know a name on there, but, Lamont Burns made a name for himself. Jamie Gray made a name for himself, right? And I'm going way back. Tom Scott. If people don't know you, you got to make sure that you're doing your job, and then they will notice you, so to speak, because that's the most unsung group on the football team until – they're not doing well. Right?
Somebody makes a mistake.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately,
kind of like the long snapper. Long snapper don't want anybody to know his name.
That's right.
Unless that's for Chandler.
And so for those guys, for them to for us to notice them, so to speak, in a lot of ways, they really do have to come together and there's a lot of things as far as guys. I talked about this with some of our coaches last year. I think Coach Connors did this as well. But wrestling, right? When guys wrestle, right, you're fighting your butt off to get position and all those kind of things. Take a guy to the ground, flip him over, and all those kind of things under control, right? And so I don't know the rules as far as how much is that allowed and all those kind of things nowadays. But those are some of the little things that you can get guys to do as far as, it's a scrap, man. It's you got to fight your butt off to keep that guy off the quarterback or to get that run up the middle, like we're trying to do. And it's all about positioning. And wrestling does that, right?
You've got that inexperienced offensive line matched with a brand new offensive line coach. So, Steve Schenkweiler taking a different role, Coach Mogridge coming in. So, a lot of newness up there, and we are seeing the growing pains. And then the second part of the question was, Jason, jugs machine. Like, what are we doing with receivers every day to make sure we don't see these drops?
I'm putting them in those situations. First of all, we got to get out and get on that jugs machine before practice. And not just standing still catching. I used to do stuff that had them running, because as a receiver, you very rarely catch a ball sitting still. So we were always moving, doing something like that before practice, after practice. Now, most of the time before practice, I threw the balls to them because I want them to see it coming out of a hand. At the end of practice, I would shoot the balls to them, and we'd work on moving targets and stuff like that, and distraction drills, because a lot of times it's what we talked about. It's about catching that ball knowing I'm about to get hit or somebody's flashing in front of me. I used to do a deal on Thursdays where it was all about distraction drill, and everybody got up there, had to catch so many balls with us beating on them with bags and all that type stuff to get them used to catching a ball in traffic. And, that's just some of the things you can do. And you just got to work at it, man. It's just part of it. We talked about putting an expectation out there. You got to expect to catch the ball. You're a receiver. And so those are some of the things you can do. I mean, when that doesn't work, you got to go recruit.
And this question was, what do you do at practice? And a couple of times you've said it's not just practice, it's before, it's after. But what are you doing on your own time is the question too.
Well, that's that. I bet you guys like Zay Jones and all those guys came over here and they did extra.
Oh yeah.
That's why you get to where you get, and they got to understand that. Like, I got to do more than just what's expected of me at practice if I want to be better.
And then if you have a leader at quarterback that can go out and say, hey, look, receivers, come with me. We're throwing balls before or we're throwing balls after.
And I know they did this stuff, but we're seeing drops in games. So either do it more or what they did wasn't working. And What did Jason say? If none of that's working,
go recruit.
Go recruit.
It becomes a focus thing for them on a personal level. If you can't make those plays and you're doing those things, there's a lack of focus somewhere.
All right, 317-1250. Did we get Damon? Or Damon's up? Damon, you're up in Boone. Hey, Damon.
Yeah, hey, man, coming down Highway 321 in the dark, baby.
Turn your lights on, man.
Pirates are offside. They're left of center, right of center. I mean, we can't even get this shit straight. We can't even come down.
What did he say?
He said it.
Yeah. Sorry, Damon. Can't cuss, man. No cursing on the air. Them the rules. Sorry. I kind of wanted to hear where Damon was going. He's flying down the highway with no lights on in the dark. All right, let's go to Keith in Asheville. Hey, Keith.
Hey, Clip. Hey, maybe somebody needs to get them boys in the back room and use some of those four-letter words to them. But I think it's really important that we're talking about quarterback play and all this, and I think it's really important we start looking at the leadership on the team, and maybe it's not the players, it's the coaches. I know this coaching staff's been here for a while, and at a certain point we got to look squarely at them and say maybe they're just not capable of getting the job done. I mean, you've got an offensive coordinator like Donnie Kirkpatrick that's been so many places, and I mean, maybe the game's just starting to pass him by. I mean, we had a great quarterback last year. I mean, he's got a shot to make it in the league, and at times it looked like he was playing D3 football, and I think that's really just the coaches weren't putting him and the other players in a position to succeed. I know in the past when folks have talked about Donnie, you said things like Mike Houston says that he's a great football coach and he knows football. Well, heck, I know football, and one of the key tenets of football is you score more points than the other team, and we're really struggling to do that right now. You look at our record. So maybe it really is time that we start looking at changes at offensive coordinator, and if Mike Houston's not willing to do that, maybe it's time to start looking at the man in the big chair, seeing if it's time we make the changes, because we sit in a position where if we don't evolve and we don't grow, that we're going to get left behind in all this conference realignment. And I'm really afraid that if we blink and in 5-7 years that we're not even in Division 1A, that we're 1AA or whatever the next version of that's going to be, and that we're going to be sitting here going, what the heck has happened? If we don't make these changes now, that this is what's going to happen to this program. Just kind of want to get y'all's thoughts on if you think that this staff's equipped to get us to where we need to go, or if it is really time to just start looking for a more younger, more innovative either offense or just kind of at the top.
I think it goes back to, is Mike Houston, is he running the show on offense? If not, he's going to have some problems with his offensive coordinator, because the offensive numbers are not good. They're not good for 2023 college football. You look around and you see teams putting up points, putting up yards. We're not doing that. So if Mike Houston, if this is not what he wants, then yeah, he's going to think about making a move. If this is him giving the directive to Donnie, then he's going to be okay with it because he's making the final call.
Okay, so this is something that I would like to know as a non-media member anymore, as someone that doesn't go to press conferences. I can't ask questions. I'm not in the media anymore. But wouldn't it be a fair question at a press conference to either Donnie or Mike, or better yet, both, just the simple question, who has the ultimate authority on play calling, and let the conversation start there? I think that's a fair question.
Well, Donnie has said because we were talking about fourth downs in particular. He said he's always got a call ready to go. It's just a matter of, does the head coach say we're going for it or not? So that leads me to believe that's
kind of in my eyes, that's kind of a bailout. I mean, that's an obvious to me. That if
it says that Donnie's calling the plays,
right? But that says that he's referring to him as saying, okay, well, he's going to say whether or not we're going to go for it or not. Well,
right.
I think that's obvious.
Well, no, it is. I'm just using that as an example to say Donnie has a play ready, which means on first, second, and third down, Donnie has the play.
But who has the ultimate say? I know the head coach in that situation, of course, has the ultimate say. We're going to go for it on fourth down, or are we not? I think that's every head coach in the country has got that authority and says, hey, the head coach is going to make that call. I'm going to leave it to my offensive coordinator to make the call. I'm going to say whether or not we're going for it or whether or not we're going to punt.
And I'm just speculating. I just feel like Mike Houston's like, all right, Donnie, here are the plays. Now you
and
call.
I think that's
a
fair question to ask.
Yeah, no, it is.
It is a very fair question to ask.
Insight on?
You know what? I was on the headset in 21, and I never heard Coach Houston just say, Donnie, you got to call this. I never heard that.
So Donnie was calling the play.
He was calling the plays.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was on the headset, that's what I've heard. So I don't think it's just Houston, dictating. I think he gave Donnie the freedom to call the plays the way he needs to.
Yeah. But, yeah, fair question. Absolutely. Yeah. Some folks are saying that Damon said the word ship instead of a cuss word. Okay. All right. If that's the case, I really apologize, Damon, and please call back in. We'd love to hear more from you.
And by the way, the last thing I'll say about that, when you're 0-3, everything is a fair question.
And that's all I got to say.
And that's all I got to say about that.
All right, let's go to Keith in Asheville. Hey, Keith.
We already talked.
Sorry, it's late. Well, hang up then. Bye, Keith. There's Keith. We already talked. Oh, dear. 317-1250. Michael Preston. Monica. Hang on. Monica's up. She's the MVP
Is this Monica over Greenville again?
Oh, yeah. MVP caller. 317-1250. More of your calls. Damon, call us back. Back with you after this.
When you walk through the doors of Villa Verde, you'll experience the sights, sounds, and smells of authentic Dominican flavors. This is Jay from Villa Verde, inviting you to come by and try one of our amazing empanadas, our famous red snappers, grouper bites, seafood paella, Cuban sandwiches, and much, much more. Relax on the patio with a fresh mojito or a cold beer while enjoying one of our out-of-this-world desserts, like our rum pineapple cake or our famous tres leches. Villa Verde on 10th Street, a platform for good, and a proud supporter of the Pirate Nation.
Defense!
What are you doing?
You haven't heard? Carolina Hardscapes has the best defense in Pitt County. And you know defense wins championships.
What? No. They have the best fence company in Pitt County.
Wait, they do fencing now?
That's right. Just give them a call at 364-1201, and they'll get the job done right. And don't forget, they still do patios, pools, and mulch.
Wow, now that's a championship caliber company. Carolina Hardscapes. Enjoy the outdoors.
What do I like about being a local agent for Farm Bureau Insurance? Above all, I like helping people. Using my insurance experience to make Pirate Country a better, safer place. Insurance is a necessity, and I take pride in helping people find the right coverage for all their needs. I'm Brandon Manning. Call me at 252-531-1812 for a quick auto, home, or life insurance quote, and to learn more about Farm Bureau Insurance and how they can save you time and money. That's Brandon Manning at 252-531-1812.
Do you have any real estate questions about buying or selling residential or commercial properties? Are you curious about this current real estate market? Do you need a property manager for all your rental houses? This is proud ECU alum Scott Harris with RE/MAX Preferred Realty and SD Harris Properties, and I would love to help answer every question you have and show you a real estate experience that will be memorable and enjoyable. Every step of the way, I'm here to make your dreams a stress-free reality. Call me today at 347-1857. That's 347-1857. Go Pirates.
Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese biscuits and country food around. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas, which is the best for all you boat owners. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food in your engines with great gasoline. Go Pirates. Get ready for tailgate season at Shimmer Boutique. Locally owned and operated, Shimmer has the best selection of game day apparel and accessories for ladies. And gentlemen, Shimmer has a newly restocked wide selection of t-shirts with brands like Local Boy, Old South, Southern Fried Cotton, and the newest edition, Pimp Shrimp. Shimmer has everything you need this fall. They carry the largest selections of Yetis and Hey Dudes and more. Be ready for game day and every day at Shimmer Boutique with locations in Greenville, Winterville, and Jacksonville. Go Pirates!
Familia is your go-to spot for the best Italian dishes around, including pizzas, pastas, salads, and homemade desserts.
That's Familia.
Enjoy half-off wine night on Wednesdays, $3 drafts on Thursdays, or get a pizza of the week for just $12.
That's Familia.
Place your order online or call 689-6330, and Familia will have your order ready in their drive-thru window for pickup.
That's Familia.
Clip, really?
Oh, sorry.
Familia on Fire Tower Road in Winterville near Pitt Community College.
This is Kim McNeil, head women's basketball coach at East Carolina University, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter postgame call-in show. Here's Clip Brock.
Back with you on the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show. A long day here in the Pirate Radio studios. Still a little more to go here. So if you want to get a call in, you can do so. 317-1250. Charles, Michael, Preston, hang on. We'll go to Monica in Greenville. Hello, Monica.
Hey guys, good to see you tonight, and I second that we need Marcus and Jason on our coaching staff, so I welcome it. Come on. Hey, I'm going to start off with something really positive. I don't know that anybody's mentioned it tonight, and then it'll go downhill from there from me, unfortunately. Kudos to the App State Media Relations team, who in their booth tonight had Jeff Charles' picture front and center with the purple flowers. It was just really endearing to see, and a really nice touch from App State. So hats off to them for doing that in the booth. We've got a problem here with our program, and fans are stubborn. People who've been here for many years are stubborn because we're used to seeing a gritty Pirate program that's built from the ground up. Forget people's stars. I don't care about four-star quarterbacks. Steve Logan used to go out and recruit talented players. We got players from all over who maybe wouldn't have been looked at, and he turned them into Cadillac players because he put them in the right positions. He said, let's go get athletes and get them in the right positions, and we'll coach them up. So I miss those days. What we're looking at is generations of students, generations of people who are not seeing a program that is gritty, that is Pirate heritage football, and that's detrimental to ECU football, to have that many generations not see that. And we are a program in trouble, and time is our worst enemy now with how fast things are going with conference realignments, NIL deals. But other teams are getting it done. Look at App State today. Here's what I'm looking at. With Scotty Moe before Houston came in, we suffered 3 losing seasons with only 3 wins each season. Houston takes the helm. He gets a 4-9 season in his first 4-9 season his first year here. He has another losing season. Well, he can then come in and do 2 winning seasons, but here we are again. We're in his 5th season. His staff, he's not getting players from Scotty Moe years. These are his staff, his guys, and he's looking at having a worse record than he had his first year here. That's not good. That's not program building. That's not Pirate football. So that's what I am mourning right now. I think many of us are kind of looking at that, scratching our head, what's happening. I'll go back, Billy, to what's happening here with our program. The other thing I'll call out, other than the 2 defensive turnovers, those were fantastic. The pick 6 was wonderful. I'm not as high on our defense right now. They played well. They played better than the offense. But I go back to in 2021, Blake Harrell said, after we allowed 485 offensive yards, he said he didn't want to think about that game ever again because the defense allowed 485. And here we are sitting at a defense that allowed 465 yards again today. So we're leaving, we're getting too many guys, getting too many deep balls on us. I just think there's a lot that can be fixed there, too. It leaves a lot to be desired. Also, we allowed, this isn't defense but offense, 3 sacks today. I'm just not seeing the progression. We saw a little bit more productivity from offense today, but we're just not seeing a team that develops like Pirate teams do from game to game to game, and that worries me. So I'll just hang up and listen to you guys comment on that. Hey, Jason, I live in your neighborhood, so when you get home tonight, we'll be watching the Colorado State game.
Oh, I did not know you lived in the neighborhood, Monica.
Just a few doors down.
Really?
Shame on you, Jason. Well, that you don't know your neighbors. Come on now.
I'm guilty. I'm sorry, Monica.
All right, awesome. Block party at Monica's tonight for Coach Prime and Colorado State. All right, Monica, great call as always. 317-1250. We go to Preston in Greenville next. Hello, Preston.
Good evening, fellas. What I really called to talk about was Marcus said the offensive line needs to get into wrestling. the culture of the current high school football teams is I'm going to keep a hold of these offensive linemen and athletes in general, and not let them do anything else. That's just the culture. That's their thoughts. The other issue is most of your offensive linemen are over 300 pounds, or you want them at 300 pounds, and wrestling heavyweight tops out at 275. And that's a issue if you're trying to develop offensive linemen and defensive linemen also. And some of your linebackers. Is that true?
Well, Preston, first of all, Marcus was saying, like, at ECU football practice, having the guys actually wrestling at practice, not necessarily looking
on the wrestling team.
Yeah, not on the, yeah.
That's right.
Which East Carolina doesn't have and hadn't had since, what, the 70s, 60s or something like that?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so.
They do have a wrestling team. They got an intramural wrestling team.
Oh, okay.
But his point was doing drills and things like that in practice against each other and against the
off season.
Yeah.
Off season.
It's mostly off season, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, if that's what you're talking about, I mean, that would be a great thing for them to do.
Well, I tell you this, though. You do look for linemen that have a wrestling history because it is an advantage. They learn how to use their body. You know, it's a good sport for those guys. Like, you like to see other athletes, you know, skilled guys to do other things. Wrestling is one of the sports you like from old linemen.
Well, and I'm sorry, but even stuff like I've heard of offensive linemen that would go together, and as weird and as crazy as this sounds, this happens, that they would go out and take dance lessons together because those guys, and I got a feel of it, and Ruffin McNeil had his fantasy camp back when he was here, and I attended that one time. They take you through all the stations, and that's when I really learned that I was never built to be an offensive lineman. Those guys put in some work, and there's a lot of footwork that goes into it. There's a lot of that, but there's a lot of those transferable skills, and we can laugh about. I mean, there are football players that have gone out there and take karate classes and things like that, just to be able to have the moves and to be able to do stuff like that. So I think anything like that to get any kind of team cohesiveness and all that is worth it.
Hey, absolutely, man. Because when you're undersized, and I'm speaking from experience, as from last year. Like we were very undersized last year as a team in Livingstone College, and so we always just talked about positioning with those guys. You get in position, work that double team, get in position, man, and you know, and it helps. It helps, especially when you have a group that hasn't been together as much. You know, just kind of teaching them those things of how to get to position and all those things, and play calling could help as well, as far as, you know, with those things as well.
Anything else, Preston?
Well, I'm sure that club team would love to see some big guys in there if Houston would encourage it, or the strength and training people had some of those guys come in and put them through some drills. I'm sure that would be very helpful for the offensive line to, you know, gel together, and even some of the other athletes they got out there. Just like everybody else, you know, defense is mediocre to average. Offense has got a long ways to go. I appreciate what y'all guys do. I'll take the rest of it offline.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Preston. There is Preston in Greenville, 317-1250. We go next to Michael in Kinston. Hello, Michael. Michael, you there now? Michael is out. 317-1250. Charles? Let's go to Charles in Raleigh. Hey, Charles. Charles is out. They all wanted to talk about wrestling, and Preston already did. All right, well, let's try Al in Greenville.
Let's build a wrestling team.
Al, what's up?
I'm here. I didn't hang up.
Nah, stay with us, Al. Philly Al. What's up, man?
Roller derby. Cornhole. What's the station turned into?
Hey, we talked volleyball. We talked about some dancing, some wrestling. Yeah. I don't think we mentioned cornhole, but that's not off the table.
Hey, listen, you know, I've been watching the Pirates for so long, and for some reason this year, they're so slow. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I watch it, and I said, the lady that just called, she's right. I mean, I'm so used to the Pirate, you know, just a strong team and ready to play, and they improve all the time. and it's just not there anymore. And the thing is, my daughter and my son-in-law came down. And I showed them the stadium. We have such beautiful facilities. So is it because we can't get the players here anymore? I mean, there's got to be a reason, and I know it is. It's because they're going to these other places that probably can afford them. But is that the main reason that we cannot get the players we used to get?
Well, the players we used to get were the 2 and 3 star, the gritty guys. Well, that was during the Prop 48 days, which that was a big deal. Those were non-qualifiers at other schools, so they couldn't. North Carolina wouldn't take them. NC State, those ACC schools wouldn't take them because they couldn't qualify. And Steve Logan made a living on a lot of those guys. Very, very talented players that just weren't getting it done in the classroom. And East Carolina back in the day in the Prop 48 days could take those guys. That's not the case anymore.
Okay, that's why is it Mac from North Carolina made a statement that he doesn't want to play ECU. He was on a radio station. I heard him say that he does not want to play ECU, and that would probably that would mean NC State doesn't want to play ECU. I think we're going to have some real problems even recruiting people. And one other thing that lady mentioned, Steve Logan. I see him at the beach all the time now for dinner. I think he's too old, but is he involved in the program at all?
No. He is not involved in the program.
No. Well, that's it.
He's still a great mind, though.
Oh, man,
he's I'm gonna tell you what, people didn't know, and me included at the time, because I even played for him, what we had in a coach like him, because he was very wise, and we did a lot of great things under him, and and part of that was not getting caught up in what everybody else thought. He went out there, like Monica said, we went out and found players, which is what she described is what App State is right now. Don't always pass the eye test, but they're gonna pass the play test. They're gonna play hard.
Well, I see him out for dinner, and I want to walk up to him so bad and just say, please help us.
You should. I would love to hear it because he's a pretty funny dude too. I'd love to hear his response to that.
His response is, "Let me just tell you, don't get me started. Don't get me started, Marcus. Don't get me started. Now listen, I'm going to tell you, I am not going to go into a young man's living room and beg him to come to East Carolina, because if he don't want to come to East Carolina, I don't want him here at East Carolina. You understand me, J. Nick? You got it right.
I hear
you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, now go run that damn route for me right now.
And I'm gonna catch it.
All right. Don't you drop no balls. And listen, you take him down the field and you take him to score. You go score.
You go score.
You go score.
There's Billy doing his usually you do the chat with Gerard on the sideline.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
That was it. You just mix the names up.
Yeah, you go score. David, listen, you're breaking my heart. No, it's my heart that's breaking. Listen. Now you don't go out there and you make those mistakes anymore. All right? You go down there and you take these. You go score. All right? You're breaking my heart. You go score.
We love them.
All right. There is Al in Greenville, and there is fake Steve Logan here, Billy Weaver. All right. Michael is up in Kinston. Hey, Michael.
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
Someone had called in earlier about the recruiting over the last few years from App State to ECU. I saw something this week on the internet and on Facebook, and I checked it out, and it's true. Now, the last 5 years, we've out-recruited them, and we do almost every year, except for a year or two. Not by much, but usually when it lists the teams, it had us like 67, they were like 75, so forth. But anyway, by at least 4 or 5 teams, I think we're from about 4 to 8 teams in between us, so we've out-recruited them. Another thing you always hear people say, we don't pay the coaches enough. The App State coach, head coach, makes $900. We pay $900,000 a year. We pay Houston $2.2 million. The assistant coaches, people say we don't pay the assistant coaches enough. We pay them because they're from a state university. They have to give the numbers. $1.1 million more to pool all. I'm not talking about per assistant coach, but all together, ECU pays the assistant coaches $1.1 million more than the assistant coaches at App State. And Houston makes $1.3 million more than head coach at Appalachian State. So if people say we don't pay the money, we're being out recruited, that's not that's not the truth. Plus, App State has lost some coaches because they've had good teams the last 4 or 5 years, so their coaches have gone on to bigger and better teams. But they don't seem to miss a beat. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I mean, they've got a program.
Well, they have missed a few beats. They are not they're not winning 8 to 10 games a year. They're going to bowls some years, but they're a solid team.
Wait a minute. They beat ECU on the.
Yeah.
They beat us this year.
Yeah.
2 times we played them. They beat us.
Yeah.
Who has the best program, App State or ECU right now? Right now.
I would say App State since they beat us.
Okay. And that coach is making $1.2 million more than we're paying ours. And their assistant coaches collectively are making $1.1 million more. And also, we are out recruiting them on paper.
Okay.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
We're not getting enough bang for our buck.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean,
what are you saying? When Mike, you give him a pay cut?
Yeah, maybe you leave. But I mean, we gave him a contract we increased his money too quick.
Yeah.
He had a couple of the first 2 years. Had a couple of good years. He played Gardner Webb, Norfolk State, Old Dominion, and won a few games. And everybody said,
all right.
How many wins against good teams, winning teams, has he beaten? If you look at that, top division teams with winning records that he has beat, you'd be surprised.
Everybody gets a contract extension and a raise. Maybe we should renegotiate with him, Michael, and have him take a pay cut. Maybe we'll do that.
Say either we'll fire you or you can take a
there you go. All right, Michael.
But look, ECU, do you remember a few years ago?
No.
When we were in 1 year.
I forgot.
In 3 head coaches at the same time.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, yeah.
Skip, Thompson, and Logan.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, we begged for $20 million. ECU School of Medicine gave us $10 million.
Okay, yeah.
I had to get them back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've got people head of the program, athletic department, has got to be smarter.
All right. Thank you, Michael. There's Michael in Kinston. Let's take a break. Jerry and Jeff, you are up next. I believe this may be last call for your calls. Get them in, 317-1250. Back with more. You got something, Billy?
I was just going to say, yeah, we got a 10 o'clock game to watch.
All right, yeah. So let's roll on. Back with you after this. Party at Monica's.
While you're sleeping, our whole hogs are slow cooking over wood to create that bite that Eastern North Carolina is known for. I'm Sam Jones, and for more than 3 generations, my folks have been the torchbearers for what whole hog barbecue is supposed to be. At Sam Jones, you'll find plenty of smoke, but no mirrors. Everything, and I mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Come on over and see us at Sam Jones Barbecue, and I bet you'll be able to taste our passion in just one bite. Sam Jones Barbecue, Fire Tower Road.
Nothing freshens up a space like a new coat of paint. And no one east of Raleigh makes painting easier than CertaPro. Residential or commercial, inside and outside, CertaPro is your dependable painting experts. CertaPro's concern is about getting your painting done right and making sure you're satisfied. Whether you have a large or small job, professional quality is what you will get. Let us come to your home or business and give you a free quote. CertaPro takes all the worry away from your painting project. Go to CertaPro.com and click on Clayton Greenville. That's CertaPro. CertaPro.
This is Talbot Green with Integrity Home Mortgage. Are you ready and pre-approved if the home you want to purchase comes for sale today? This is a very important step when trying to purchase a home in the current market. Integrity Home Mortgage offers a wide variety of loan programs. Our team of Talbot Green, Braxton Green, and Joe M. Weir has over 50 years of experience and is committed to providing you with the superior customer service you deserve.
To get started, call me, Braxton Green, at 526-8260.
Braxton Green, NMLS 222-3878. For informational purposes only, Integrity Home Mortgage Corporation is an equal housing lender, NMLS 208-516.
At Coco's Sports Bar and Restaurant, they've got the best plays in the playbook. On Sunday, come and enjoy NFL football with $12 domestic buckets, $1 wings, and $3 domestic draft. Monday night, it's $6.50 chicken sliders, or get 2 hot dogs with chips for $6.50. Check out Coco's Sports Bar on Facebook for the latest info on menu items, drink and lunch specials, and more. Coco's Sports Bar off of Greenville Boulevard right behind Logan's Roadhouse. Your play of the day all week long. Go Pirates!
Ahoy there, mateys! It's Captain Jack Spare of R&R Tire Express, your local tire and wheel shop in Greenville, offering affordable, easy payment options for easy ownership, savvy? Our customers love our treasure of tires and wheels, easy payment options, and customer care package, too. To learn more about R&R, stop by 3920 US 264 or rnrtires.com.
For years, Callie Ann Phelps has been singing about Phelps Chevrolet.
Phelps Chevrolet is the one for you. Low, low prices, service too. See the big dealer right away. Carolina's finest, Phelps Chevrolet.
And you'll agree with what Skylar Phelps has to say.
Nobody beats Phelps Chevrolet's prices. Nobody.
The name you can depend on, Phelps Chevrolet.
Get you one.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier restaurant and bourbon authority. Jefferson's, Basil Hayden, Woodford Reserve, and a Midwinter Night's Dram are just a few of the incredible bourbon options. The Rick House features the very best steaks and fresh, made-from-scratch pastas. The Rick House can host your corporate event or special parties in the 3,000-square-foot banquet hall. Join the Rick House for Sunday brunch from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and for the wine tastings on the last Friday of every month. The Rick House.
Yo, ho, you're listening to Pirate Radio.
You're listening to the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter postgame call-in show. Here's Clip Brock.
All right, we got multiple conversations complaining about stuff. Me and Billy are complaining about the Commanders not being on regular TV tomorrow. Marcus and Jason talking football.
We were talking football.
Yeah, we were.
Football.
Still football.
Absolutely.
All right.
You're talking about your team.
I know. How are they not on TV? They're 4:25 game. And you would figure, okay,
watch America's team.
You gotta watch
Cowboys.
America's team because well, they thought the Cowboys were going to be going up against the Jets with Aaron Rodgers.
That's true.
So that was
preset.
Now the nation gets to watch Zach Wilson take on the Cowboys.
Yeah, I hope
all right,
he beats them.
Bobby Pike, Jeff, hang on. Let's go to Jerry in Atlanta. Hey, Jerry.
Hey, Clit. Just wanted to give you a call from the Atlanta Cheesecake Factory. I just got to tell you, hey, this is the second worst start I've ever seen in the first 5 halves for ECU football since 1932. You can look up the stats. We are not doing good, and we need to talk about why Donnie Kirkpatrick is still our offensive coordinator. I mean, we need to start talking seriously about this. We made a decent performance against App State, but hey, what's our record? It's 0-3, and we're still just floundering. We're floundering at the bottom of this conference. And, if we want to be a real football team with our organization, we just need to, we need to step it up, and we're not doing that. And so I would like you guys to discuss that, and I'll chime back in.
All right, Jerry. Well, so Mike Houston got rid of Bob Trott, the defensive coordinator, at the end of the season, right?
Yeah.
It went through a season.
Yeah, and that's the point I was going to make is that anybody wanting a new offensive coordinator, you're not getting it this season. Period.
But you could fire Donnie Kirkpatrick, but you wouldn't obviously bring in a guy mid-season.
Right.
Yeah.
So the chances of that happening are probably slim and none. I wouldn't imagine that any change is going to be made. Now, after the season, depending on what happens between here and the end of the season, now there could be a change. And that could be something that, Mike Houston entertains. Who knows? But if you're looking for a quick fix right now, you got Donnie. And he and the rest of the staff and the players just need to right the ship right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Houston seems like a guy that would fire in midseason, but, I don't know. Maybe he would if it keeps trending in the wrong direction.
But then he did say that, Mason was his guy, and he marched Flynn out there today, so.
Yeah. No, we don't know. Jerry, anything else, man?
Yeah, I got a lot of questions. So why is Donnie our guy? Why can't we bring somebody in here?
I don't know. He's Houston's guy. That's Houston. Houston likes him. I don't know.
A local high school coach that I can bring in there tomorrow.
Jason, you want to know? Yeah, Jerry, I don't know, man. It's Houston's guy.
I mean, are they going to do any worse than our second worst start since 1932? I mean, ask that question. Please ask that question right now.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm done.
Yeah, man. I mean, we can't make the fire and the hire. I understand you're frustrated, and we're just giving you the answer to your question to our best ability. I don't know if Mike Houston will let Donnie go midseason. Why is he the guy? Because Mike Houston hired him, and it's his guy. I mean, that's not for us to say, really. I'm sorry. So we don't have the answers for you.
Yeah, we don't have that answer.
Jeff is up in Blunt's Creek. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, guys. I watched the game like y'all did, and we didn't see a lot of improvement in a lot of areas. But I'm going to go back deep, and I'm going to be probably off the chart a little bit, and y'all can agree or disagree. We can do that. But this program has been broke down since Mike Hamrick, and it's been broke down since Jeff Compton. And we have not overcome it. And I don't know that we can. And I'll leave it at that.
All right. Sobering thoughts from Jeff there. It was definitely a hole that we were put in, a big one.
Well, Mike Hamrick and Jeff Comfer, who did those guys get rid of?
Got rid of Steve Logan
and
Ruffin McNeil.
And who were the two guys that everybody talks about that would have stayed here the rest of their careers?
Steve Logan and Ruffin McNeil.
That's my point. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Didn't people come calling on that too?
Absolutely. Now, absolutely. You be careful what you wish for.
What you wish
That's
for.
right. Absolutely. And the same people said stuff about Holton Ahlers the last 5 years or whatever, and now they're wishing they had Holton back on the field today. Yeah. And that's not. I mean, you never know what you got until it's gone.
No doubt.
But those were two huge losses. They really were.
Because, we were talking about something off air about sometimes coaches being halfway in and halfway out. Steve Logan and Ruffin McNeil was all the way in.
Absolutely.
And that's the commitment that they brought to this thing. So you got to, understand in this landscape that we're in, you could bring in a really sexy coach, but if he wants to leave, he's going to leave.
That's right. You coach differently, and in any job, I think that's in any job. When you're all, like you said, when you're all in and this is your deal, you're going to find a way to make it work.
Correct.
All right, we go to Pike on the road from Boone. Is this Pike that hangs out with us every day on the chat? What's up, Pike?
Hey, Cliff. How you doing?
Good, man.
Hey, I'm riding with my 12-year-old nephew, and he says we got 17 players that transferred in. So are they all from the portal, or do they transfer in some other way?
From the portal.
What other way? You there like an alien portal?
Yeah, they've all come in from the transfer portal.
Well, earlier they said we didn't have any players that were transferring in. So.
Well, I think most people are complaining about not having a quarterback come in through the portal. I think that's the biggest one. It's not that East Carolina hasn't gotten guys out of the portal. I think they're just looking at the quarterback position, saying, okay, if you knew that you did not have a guy that you were confident in marching out there and saying, this is our guy, this is our starter, why didn't you get a quarterback out, or could you not get a quarterback? So I think it's more surrounding the quarterback position.
Yep. Okay, well, I also saw Chandler taking photography today, so I think he's moonlighting on you.
He was doing what?
Taking pictures. Moonlighting, taking pictures.
I'm doing photography.
Yeah, he was down there. I saw him on TV not doing a damn thing when they scored a touchdown. But, nah, he was getting some work in. All right, Pike. All right, buddy, have a safe trip. There is Pike on the road. Let's go now to Bobby in West Palm Beach. Hey, Bobby. Bobby's World. All right, Bobby, try again. All right, you want to go last call for your call, Shirley? All right, let's do it. 317-1250. Last call. You want to do that, Billy? Huh? Yeah, Billy?
I'm watching the clock, baby.
All right, 317-1250.
It's almost prime time.
Get in. Get in while you can. We'll be back with our Brown and Wood drive of the game and have more for you when we return on the U.S. Sailor 5th Quarter Call-In Show after this. The brunch is back. The famous brunch buffet at 5th Street Hardware has a variety of breakfast and lunch items from 10:30 to 2, including an omelet station and prime rib, and a special Sunday cocktail menu, including mimosa flights. Don't forget, 5th Street Hardware has lunch specials every day, along with over 40 beers on tap. Trivia Wednesday, live music every Thursday night, and a late night menu through the weekend. Visit 5thstreethardware.com or give them a follow on Facebook and Instagram for a weekly lineup and more. Go Pirates!
Are you having a hard time participating in the activities you love due to pain? Well, then you need a good stretch or perhaps a massage. At Bodies in Balance, they offer massage therapy, assisted stretching, and Graston techniques to help provide solutions. With years of experience, the team at Bodies in Balance can create a stretch or massage program that is right for you. Mention Pirate Radio to get your first free stretch and your first massage for only $1 per minute. Call 916-4530 to get on the schedule, or you can visit them online at bodiesinbalance.com.
Kick off football season with everything you need at your CBD store. Their award-winning products are grown in the USA and tested for quality and safety, and their gummies are #1 in the world. CBD can help with sleep, anxiety, pain, immunity, focus, and more. They even have products to help your pets. So stop by today to grab Delta 8 and 9 gummies, seltzers, THCA pre-rolls, flower and vapes, plus unique pirate gifts, jewelry, and accessories. Your CBD store opens 7 days a week at 420 East Arlington Boulevard. Go Pirates!
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Good news, business travelers. PGV is adding a new early morning flight starting in September. Book today at aa.com and be on time for that connection in Charlotte. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has American flights perfect for your next trip. And now a new early morning flight. PGV, where the Pirates fly.
Looking for a hometown service in a hometown atmosphere? Look no further than G.W. Walker & Sons in downtown Washington. Randy and Carolyn Walker will work with you to make your home renovations come to life. At GW Walker & Sons, we offer a wide selection of flooring for your home, office, church, or school, along with expert installation. Stop by GW Walker & Sons at 203 West Main Street in downtown Washington, and let's start making those dreams come true. GW Walker & Sons, serving Eastern North Carolina since 1946. Go Pirates!
Jimmy John's has great taste wrapped up. All your favorite Jimmy John's sandwiches are now available as a wrap. Enjoy all natural meats, cheeses, and hand-sliced veggies, bundled into a convenient grab-and-go wrap that's made when you order it. Top it off with sensational sides, including new home-style potato salad and bow tie pasta salad. Grab your taste buds around Jimmy John's new wraps. And don't forget their loyalty app with a free sandwich after your first visit. Jimmy John's in Greenville and Wilson, and online at jimmyjohns.com.
This is Carson Hunt, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter postgame call-in show. Here's Clip Brock.
Alrighty, 317-1250. Last call for your calls. East Carolina falling tonight. I mean, so long, I don't even remember the score anymore.
43-28.
Sounds good, Weave. Thank you, sir. All right, we got Big Poppy, Isaac, and Mike. Hang on. Let's go to Ryan in Wilmington. Hello, Ryan. Ryan's gone. Ryan? Ryan, you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, man.
Hello?
Yeah, we got you.
Hey, disappointing result tonight. Just a few stats. This is the 15th time in program history that ECU has fallen to 0-3 to start the year. And the 7 of the last 8 times that we've started the year, the coach has left in the last 2 seasons. And I saw from a Boneyard podcast that it was John Gilbert was talking to Mike Houston post-game. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that. But yeah, overall, just kind of a very disappointing game, and I don't know what to expect from Gardner Webb next week.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Boneyard podcast tweet about John Gilbert met with Mike Houston, and apparently, I don't know, it's like, it's a rumor, but they are saying it, that they were there in the hallway in Boone, and there was a discussion. He said the discussion was clearly about the lack of offense. Don't know what was said, but it was a one-sided conversation. And, I mean, you can go read it at Boneyard Podcast on Twitter. I don't know how true it all is, but anyway, a post-game discussion between Mike Houston and John Gilbert.
I don't put any stock into that at all. It could have been anything. He could have been John Gilbert. Unless somebody actually overheard something said. Was there any quotes, or was there any shouting or anything? I mean, it could have been just that's not abnormal for an athletic director to talk to a head coach in the hallway of a visiting locker room after a game. I've seen it 100 times after wins and after losses, and some athletic directors are encouraging their coaches after a loss, or I don't know. You just unless I heard some quotes or somebody said, okay, I saw him pointing at the coach's face and had his hand in his face and he's yelling at him. That's different. I get that, but it could have been anything.
They're 95% sure that they heard the word change during the discussion. And it says it was about 30 or 40 feet down the hallway. So, I don't know. Yeah. Not enough information there.
No, not enough.
All right, Ryan, anything else, man?
No, just we'll see and hope that we get a better result against Gardner Webb next week. Thank you, guys. I appreciate everything you do.
Thanks, Ryan. And, yeah, we got to get a W in that one. 317-1250, Mike's up in Greenville. Hey, Mike.
What's up, Clip? How's it going, guys?
Going good. Mike, you've become a bit of a closer here on the show. We always talk to you late in the show.
Yeah, trying to let everybody get their frustration out first, and I'll try to bring some sense back.
Good luck. All right.
Hey, we've been trying that for 3 hours. It ain't working.
Billy, you'll appreciate this. Last week, Friday, our Mets took a L. Saturday, ECU took a L. The Mets took a L. Sunday, my Panthers took a L.
Hey, I got a W in there, though, because I'm a Commanders fan.
Screwed up and won on Sunday.
A rough go for Mike here lately.
Well, we're on the L again this week. Mets lost last night. ECU lost today. Mets trying to lose tonight. Panthers don't play till Monday, so maybe a chance there. But
I see a thread here, Mike. You need to change your baseball team to the Braves, all right, and change your football team to the Falcons.
I knew the Falcons was coming, yeah.
We're going to stick with ECU, though.
Marcus, you may not remember, but you and I did battles way back in the day, Williamson against Robertsonville.
Oh, yes, absolutely, man.
But really, when Mike Houston come on, his opening press conference, it was something to the likes of, we will be a hard-nosed, disciplined, run-first football team. Hard-nosed can be debated, I guess. I don't think any coaches ever come out and say, oh, well, our team didn't play hard-nosed today. But they're definitely not disciplined. And you could have a one-star recruit and still be disciplined, and we're certainly not that. And run first, we try to run first, and we can't. I had another buddy tell me tonight, we just need to let the freshman quarterback go in there and play. Well, that freshman quarterback could be the next Marcus Crandall. It could be the next Jeff Blake, but we have so many other problems that doesn't matter. We can't protect the quarterback. We can't run the football. Our receivers can't catch passes, and, everybody hates Donnie Kirkpatrick. We're not going to fire him tomorrow. There's not one thing you can change that's going to fix this, right? And we're stuck with Houston until 2026 because it's been said before, Gilbert was bidding against himself. So we have to figure out what we have, make the best of it. Yes, we had a couple of games last year where they played to Holton's strengths and let him throw the ball and do more things than what they were doing with the run first. And we were like, wow. Where did this come from? There needs to be more of that this year, trying to figure it out. I don't know if you guys paid attention to Alex Flynn's comments after the game tonight. He said, yeah, I'll get better with more in-game reps. That was pointed, right? He's saying, hey, as long as I play, I'm going to get better. But right now, we don't know if it's Alex Flynn. We don't know if it's Mason Garcia. We don't know who is next in line, to play. We don't have an identity. We don't have an answer, and we got a lot to figure out because Garner Webb is no pushover. So we're going to see what comes next week. I agree with you guys. The stadium is going to be more than half empty, and it's just, fans being fans. They want to pay for a winning product, and they're not getting that right now.
Mike, good stuff, man. Good to hear from you. And as crazy as it is to say, 3 interceptions today, no touchdowns. I think Flynn's the guy next week, right? He did more. The offense did more today than they've done the previous 2 weeks. Again, that is a sad statement. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't great. But I think I saw enough today to say Flynn gets to start next week.
Are you saying he passed the eye test?
Well, I'm grading on a curve.
Right.
A big curve. I don't know. What do y'all say real quick? We'll go around the horn. Who starts next week?
I agree. I think it's Flynn. Like you said, it's crazy to think that a guy that threw 3 interceptions in a ball game is the guy. But I just feel like he just looks so much more comfortable out there. He looks like he's got more tools in the tool bag, if that makes sense. At this point. Now, is Mason Garcia a better athlete? Probably. But he hasn't shown that he can be a leader yet. He hasn't shown that the game has slowed down any for him. And I think, Alex looks just a little bit more comfortable out there. And that first drive, he looked great. He really did. It showed me a lot.
Jason, who you starting?
I'm starting Alex Flynn. I mean, I understand the interceptions. He has to, get rid of that. But some of that is in scheme and coaching them up, like Marcus said. That's a long throw to make from one hash to the field. Very rarely have I been in with quarterbacks, been in a system that they can make that throw from one hash to the field. So some of that can be coached up. I'm like Billy. When I look at Flynn, he has quarterback movements. It's natural. He eludes and escapes the pocket and does some good things that we haven't quite seen. Yes, Mason has ran the ball, but some of those were quarterback runs. Alex has escaped the pocket because he was just, fleeing away from pressure and turned it into a run. So that's where I would leave it at. I think it has to be Flynn going forward.
Mark?
Yeah, I think Alex did an outstanding job in regards to the ad-lib plays in regards to getting it out of the pocket, and I mentioned it last week, is what I would like to see for those guys, whomever is going to be the starter. I said last week, and it'll be the same for this week. If Alex is the guy, he has to do the same. He has to do the same in regards to when he got out of the pocket, he was very decisive about what he's going to do. He kept going downhill, attacking the line of scrimmage. If it was there, he was throwing the football or throwing it out of bounds, he didn't throw it out of bounds much. But he gained 1 yard, right? And that's a positive play. That's what you want to see. And then in the pocket when he stepped up and took off running. And so you like to see that from a quarterback. And overall, I thought those were the great things that he did to earn him another start. Definitely the interceptions. Yeah. Those are things that can be coached up. And you want to coach those things up after that first one, right? And then to come back and see the second one,
right,
which was exactly the
same thing, is like, all right, what happened on the sidelines? Like, why did he make that same throw?
Right. Yeah, what was the communication?
Yes,
like
that's what
on
I'm
the first
talking
one,
about,
you got to say, okay, what were you seeing on that play?
Right.
Coach, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, you can't make that throw unless you drive that ball in there, or
So where's the communication?
So I don't know, and I agree with Marcus though.
It's like first mistake, shame on you. Yeah. Second mistake, shame on me.
Yeah.
For not coaching you up.
I asked Donnie this week about the scramble drill, and he said we haven't hit anything passing off the scramble drill. We've done some things running. I feel like that was the same today pretty much. Like we did some run things out of the scramble drill. Did we hit anybody out of the pocket? I don't remember a lot. That's still something missing from this offense that could really lead to some big plays if you could get it going. All right, Isaac's up next in Greenville. Hey, Isaac.
Hey, Clip and all y'all. So I didn't call in last week. I was a little too mad to call in last week, and that's why I called in so late today, because it was looking like it was for us today for a little bit, especially leading at the half, right, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. But we'll start with the quarterbacks. Flynn should have started last week. That's my thought on it. And especially since what he said in that post-game interview, if he would have got more snaps, he'd have been better today. That's what I think. And Coach Houston not being able to answer the question of who's starting or are y'all playing, what quarterbacks y'all playing, he should have just said, hey, yeah, we're going to play both of them and take a look at both of them. That's what he should have said the last 2 weeks. But, yeah, Flynn's our guy for this year. I'm hoping to see him a lot next week, especially against Gardner-Webb, Parents Weekend. I still think we'll have a decent enough crowd, probably 38, 40,000, hopefully. That's what I want.
Well, you're talking about this weekend against Gardner-Webb?
It is family weekend. That'll help out. That is always a big weekend. But I don't know about that big of a number.
People,
yeah.
no.
I hope you're right. I
hope so, too.
Let's go get a win. But, yeah. All right. Isaac, anything else, man?
That's going to be about it. I hope I'm looking for a win next weekend because I'm going to be out there the whole day. I don't know what time the game is, but 6 hours before the game starts, I'll be out there in the tailgate lot. So
well, how do you know what time to go out there?
I'll probably know by Friday afternoon.
There's no other way to find out before then. You want me to tell you what time the game is now, or you want to keep it a surprise?
Yeah, tell me.
All right, 6 o'clock.
So you got to be out there by noon.
Oh, yeah, we got there at 12. That'd be a good pregame tailgate, and I'll be listening to the Bud Light pregame tailgate with y'all.
That's my man, Isaac. Thank you, buddy. All right, man.
He even threw the Bud Light pregame.
No, getting the sponsors in.
He got the
Appreciate
sponsor
that.
in too. How about that?
I like that Isaac just kind of goes through his week like, can't wait to tailgate this weekend. I don't know what time.
I'll be there 6 hours.
I'll find out sometime.
11 a.m. We're kicking off at all right. I'll be there at 5.
All right. Somebody named Big Poppy is up next. I hope it's David Ortiz in Raleigh. Hello,
Hit it
Big
out
Poppy.
the park.
Big Poppy.
Big Poppy is gone.
Big Poppy.
Struck out.
Went down looking.
Oh, Marlins. 11-5 over the Braves.
Billy, you're not really going to do that, are you?
No.
NL East champion.
I know. Come on. Do you know who you're talking to?
I do.
I'm a Mets fan.
I know.
Give me anything I can hang my hat on.
relax on the Gardner-Webb parade. They are about to lose to Tennessee State, 27-25. We're going to get an angry Gardner-Webb team here next week. All right, let's get to our Brown and Wood drive of the game, brought to you by Brown and Wood. And you can find them at brownandwoodauto.com. You can find them on Greenville Boulevard in Greenville. And since 1937, they have been your number one dealership in Greenville. The Brown and Wood drive of the game. And guys, right off the bat, for the first time this year, we had a long scoring drive. First drive of the game.
Yep.
75
yards.
And got it going. Just looked good doing it. Throwing the football, running the football. Good to see Rajay. I'm a Rajay fan personally. Good to see him get in the end zone a couple of times. He cashed in an early touchdown, had a lead at halftime. Just once again, second half woes. And we had a caller that brought it up on the UB stat sheet earlier. East Carolina getting dominated in the second half, especially these last couple weeks. Been rough. Final thoughts, fellas.
Fix it. That's it. Just fix it. Yeah. Whatever the problem is, just fix it.
Yeah, we need work. We got work that we still got to do. So let's get it done.
Scott's got an interesting question. Was the last North Carolina FBS team that Mike Houston beat East Carolina when he was at James Madison? I think that is. That's interesting,
wow.
Scott.
That is.
Not fun, but interesting.
That's crazy to think.
Marcus, we'll talk to you on Thursday. We'll see you next Saturday, man.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks for hanging out.
Job,
Long
everyone.
day today. Jason, thank you, man.
No problem.
Talk to you Monday.
Monday.
All right. And we've enjoyed it, buddy.
Go Commanders.
Yes, sir. Go Commanders. Folks, thank y'all.
My weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Thank y'all for tuning in. Chat gang, enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun on the Bud Light pregame tailgate, our Celsius watch party, and the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show. We're getting out of here. We'll talk to you Monday, 3 o'clock on Pirate Radio Live, and we will see you next Saturday, 2 o'clock on the Bud Light pregame tailgate, and after the game on the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show. So long, everybody.
Peace. Go Pirates.
You have been listening to the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter postgame call-in show. Join us next time for complete postgame coverage of East Carolina football, exclusively on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
From New York owed $93,000. The IRS placed a levy on his bank account.